It's time for the new wave. Time for a new era. It's time to make your moment.
Here we go. Ultimate Boxer is back in front of a full house here at the O2 Arena in London. 8 of the country's top fighters meet head-on to find out who will be crowned king of the super middleweights. Great to have you with us. It is time to shine the spotlight on the 11-stone division. 3 rounds, 3 fights, 3 minutes, £50,000 up for grabs. Sit back and enjoy. This is Ultimate Boxer. Yeah, if you've not watched Ultimate Boxer before, where have you been? You are in for a treat. UB5 promises to bring you just as much drama as the previous tournaments. The fighters start off in 4 quarter-final matchups, and the winners progress to the semis, where the final lineup will be decided, and another star will be born. We're going to bring you a couple of extra bouts as well, talking about stars. Look at this for a legendary lineup. Dave Colwell, Anthony Crolla and Amir Khan with me ringside here at the Indigo at the O2. And we've said this every single time. We're going to say it again. Ultimate Boxer hasn't let us down yet.
Not yet, and anyone who was here for the middleweights or back in Manchester for the light heavyweights, if this tournament's half as good as that, we're in for a very special night.
Did you leave your suit on the train, Ant?
I did. I'm a man of the people. Just come smart cash tonight.
I'll get that dig in early. Amir, great to have you here as well. By the way, what's the most fights you've had in a day, in a night?
I've had 2 in one day.
2 in one day?
That's right, yeah.
Would you fancy this back in the day, this sort of format, having 7 fights?
I mean, you never know. I mean, look, it's great to be fighting 3 times in one day, but the amount of adrenaline is going to take out you, the amount of energy is going to take out you, and then you have to still step in the ring and perform at your highest level. I think it's very difficult, so you have to give these boys a lot of props.
There's still time, mate. Ultimate Boxer 6, you having that?
You never know.
Heavyweights.
Me and Anthony can go in it.
Dave, we were with you last time, weren't we, up in Manchester? I mean, what a stage, what an environment, what an atmosphere for these guys to get their name out there.
I think it's a fantastic tournament, and it's a great opportunity, as you said. You know, all these lineup, mainstream boxing fans probably don't know them. It's probably going to be the first time they're going to see them tonight. Now they've got this stage now to be in people's minds and following through the career. It's a great format. I enjoy it, and you're always guaranteed good fights and exciting drama.
Yeah, and just quickly give someone a heads up who's watching at home on the couch, a reason to stay watching, because it's explosive. We're not just trying to oversell this, overkill it. Every fight so far has been brilliant.
3 fast, furious rounds, guaranteed action. They've got to vote. The fighters can't pace themselves, because they know they do. There's a good chance throughout the competition, so knockouts guaranteed, excitement guaranteed. Stay tuned in.
Yeah, well, one man who's a part of our team, a big part of our team, has been mixing it with the big dogs in Russia and Vegas recently, but he loves spending time with us just as much. Buncey's backstage. What's happening, Buncey?
So much indeed, Will. I am backstage. I'm down in the dressing room area, the pit. There's a couple of rooms over there. There's a room back there. All of the Ultimate Boxers are changing down here. They're trying to change in privacy. It's not really working. There are 8 of them. 7 of them will lose this evening. One man will change his life tonight. He'll walk away with most of the £50,000. There will be cuts. There will be heartbreaks. The underdogs could triumph. The favourites could crash. That's what UB's all about. Ultimate Boxer's all about. We've seen it in the past. Thrills and spills and also all types of mayhem and chaos. I'm going to be down here all night long. I'm going to be speaking to the kids when they come out. I'm going to be speaking to the winners. I'm going to be speaking to the losers. And I'm going to be speaking to anybody else that's down there, even triumphant or heartbroken. Stick with us. It's going to be about 3 hours of mayhem and chaos. Strap yourself in. Don't leave the room.
There we go. He's a wordsmith, isn't he, Mr. Bunce? And having seen the last 4 tournaments, have you started to see a trend now, tactics-wise? Because we always talk, don't we, about what is the best thing to do. There is no textbook when it comes to this.
There isn't. I say it, me. You've got to take one fight at a time. You can't pace it. You can't try and save energy. But then at the same time, you see people in semi-finals and final fights go out because of the effect that the earlier fights have had. Look at the draw comes into place, maybe. But there is no tactics, and that's what makes it even more exciting.
And this is difficult, I guess, Amir, for a lot of these fighters because they haven't perhaps been on this stage, on live televised fights in this sort of environment. It's important, I guess, isn't it, both of you, to get caught up in the hype of all of this?
Yeah, you can't get caught up in the hype. There's a lot of people here today watching them, supporting them. It's going to hype them. It's going to get them prepared for it. But at the same time, they have to stay very focused in that ring because you can't get caught with a big shot instead of, and you have to stay focused throughout the whole fight.
From a trainer's point of view then, Dave, what would you be saying to your fighters back there now, just behind the curtains?
It's like Hans said, you've got to take it one fight at a time, one round at a time. The most important thing is a 3-round fight. You have to go out there and win the first round. You have to, because otherwise the pressure's on. And then when the pressure's on, you start forcing it, you make more mistakes. So, round 1 of each fight is very, very important. And it's like Amir was saying as well, you get through to the next round. You've got the pressure of cooling down. You've got to be able to handle that as a coach, handle that as a fighter, but also mentally as well. You need to switch off, but not switch off totally, because you need to relax, but still be in tune that you don't go lethargic and then need a round to get warmed up again. Because in the semi-final, you haven't got a round to warm up again. You've got to go again full throttle. But you have to be smart. A good counter-puncher, a good boxing brain can win this. And that's why people that have had a good amateur experience, that is key. It's not necessarily the guys that have boxed 10 rounds and done well at area title level or anything like that. The guys that have had a good amateur experience probably do better in this tournament.
Yeah, all sorts of boxers and celebrities ringside here at the Indigo at the O2 in London. And Layla is with a man who knows all about a knockout competition. He won Love Island. He's also a bit of a boxer himself. Jack Fincham's in the house.
Absolutely, I am. 26 amateur fights, and he's been teasing Europe with the idea of going pro. Is it really going to happen? Will you go pro?
Do you know what? I'm going for it now. Yeah? It's meant to happen a long time ago, but being in places like this, it just gives you the hunger again, don't it? So yeah, it's going to happen.
Sitting cage side, sitting ringside, watching the fighters, that really gives you a drive then?
Oh, it does. Sitting there, right in the atmosphere. I want to box in a competition like this one day. So yeah, I love it.
So Love Island obviously catapulted you to a world of fame and celebrity. Yeah. This is a real catapult for a boxer in their careers. If it was earlier on, would this be something you'd be keen to do?
Well, they're not too different, are they? Prancing around with no top on and little shorts. They're quite similar, but yeah, definitely 100%. I mean, this is an amazing competition to be in, a great platform as well. Amazing.
And as a night out, boxing, how do you find it?
Boxing as a night out is brilliant, but this is, again, like a night out. People fighting in a nightclub, only these guys know what they're doing, don't they?
They do indeed. Thank you so much. We'll be talking to Jack throughout the show, but for now, Will, it's over to you.
Keep Fincham out of trouble back there. Layla, thank you very much. Right, Ultimate Boxer 5 nearly getting underway here in London. The super welterweights are waiting and raring to go, and after the break, someone's O has to go as well. It's Kingsley Egbenike up against Lenny Fuller. We'll see you shortly.
Yeah, I didn't have the best of amateur starts, never really done a lot in the amateurs, but now I'm pro, I'm committed. I've got some real good people behind me in terms of sponsors, so they allow me to train every day, twice a day. I'm a full-time pro now. So I know where I can be at. And that money, if I win this, when I win this, I'm gonna invest it in myself. It's gonna help me get to the top.
It's my first year of boxing, but this definitely isn't too soon for me. I've had a lot of experience as an amateur and I've sparred a lot of top professional boxers. I'm a nice guy outside the ring, but inside of the ring, I'm focused, I'm switched on, and I have controlled aggression.
Welcome back to Ultimate Boxer 5. The first quarter-final is just seconds away. Firstly, Layla's catching up with a man who's been with us right from the very beginning.
Yes, I'm here with Paulie Malignaggi. Now, just backstage, we've seen all the boxers preparing, getting ready. This is the biggest event that they have ever fought in. They're seeing the cameras. I'm thinking it's won or lost in their mind with a situation like this. It's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You see the lights and the cameras and obviously the bigger crowd than they're used to fighting in front of. I mean, this is a step up for them, but it's also a big opportunity for them. So that in itself is also bringing a lot of pressure. Step up in competition. A lot of these guys have built up some records below the radar. A lot of these guys have won their fights. They've got good records, but they haven't quite been seen by anybody, and this is why they're here on Ultimate Boxer, to kind of apply their craft in front of a good crowd, in front of good scouts, and you know, kind of show the world that they can fight. But the pressure is on to perform on this night, and of course, there's tougher competition.
And when there's pressure, even with the prize money, you know, life-changing money to win tonight, with that kind of pressure on their mind, what tips would you give them to not get distracted and focus tonight?
Easier said than done, but do not overthink. You know, you do the same thing every day in the gym. You train hard, you work on tactics. Bring those same tactics into the fight. Don't try anything new in the ring that you haven't tried in the gym. Go with what you know works. You know you come in confident after a training camp, so use what works. But of course, that's easier said than done sometimes, because the mind can play tricks on you.
Thank you, Paulie. Well, our fighters for our first quarterfinal here on Ultimate Boxer 5 are almost ready. I'm going to throw you over to our MC, Terry Kavanagh, in the ring now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for 3 3-minute rounds in quarterfinal 1. Your referee over the action, Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edwards from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He officially weighed in at 11 stone, 1.5 pounds, with a professional record of 6 wins and no losses. Tonight he wears the white shorts from Maidstone, Kent. Please welcome Lenny, the main man, Fuller. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner. He officially weighed in at 11 stone and 1/4 ounce. With a professional record of 4 wins, 1 by way of knockout and no losses. Tonight he wears the black trunks. With 4 professional bout and yet to drop a round. From Acton, London, please welcome Kingsley Obi Ejakpovi. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, lads, I've already spoke to you both. Keep them punches up. Don't put these heads in. Touch gloves. Come back.
So referee Chaz Coakley just checking that all extras and paraphernalia has left the boxing ring, and now we are underway.
Seconds out!
With Ultimate Boxer 5, the first quarter-final. The boxer wearing the white trunks, the shorter man, with the main man, Lenny Fuller. That's the ring moniker that he goes by, the taller figure wearing the black trunks, who just been hit with a right hand and a combination. Slings into the canvas in the opening 20 seconds. On the floor and shaken up.
7, 8. The overhand right, standing too straight up. The shorter man reaching over with the overhand. And again, the same punch.
A blistering combination. Ejakpovi is out on his feet. And inside 40 seconds, Lenny Fuller has sensationally booked his place in the semi-final.
This competition is wild.
The shortest boxer here at just 5 feet 7 inches tall has made an absolute nonsense of the supposed advantage that comes with height and length. He got inside the reach of the taller man and detonated accurate punches practically from the opening bell. He put Ejakpovi on unsteady legs, and once Ejakpovi had beaten the count, well, Fuller gave him absolutely no respite, and he was relentless. Lenny Fuller drew to the semi-finals in sensational fashion.
You see Fuller dropping the the jab to the stomach, that kind of distracted Egbunike's focus down lower, and that's kind of the trap he sets. Watch, see how he kind of feints the jab to the stomach. Doesn't even reach fully out with it, but in the meantime, what he's trying to do is take away Egbunike's focus from his head, and therefore it comes over the top. And then he does it again. I mean, Egbunike at this point is hurt, so I guess he's going to fall for most traps, and the same trap worked again. So the same shot. Also, unfortunately for Egbunike, he probably never got warmed up. It might have been something you would have seen later on in the fight, but this particular trap worked perfectly, and Fuller used it both times, both for the knockdown and then to start the follow-up assault.
Lenny Fuller, absolutely ecstatic. We talk about this tournament format and how crucial it is to get through to the next round in the most efficient manner possible. And Lenny Fuller has done exactly that. Kingsley Egbunike caught cold, never got himself into the contest, and he is consigned to his first loss in the professional ranks. He's being consoled by his coaches. He appears to be okay from a physical standpoint, but now psychologically, that stoppage defeat could well take a while to recover from. Good to see that he's made it to center ring under his own steam. We're about ready to hand up to tonight's MC, Terry Kavanagh, to get the particulars at the conclusion of that opening quarterfinal.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Chaz Coakley calls a stop to this bout at 34 seconds of round number 1, declaring a winner. And now the first of our semi-finalists, Lenny, the main man, Fuller!
So Lenny Fuller through to the final 4, and he has barely broken sweat. Kingsley Egbunike eliminated, but it's Lenny Fuller who goes through.
There we go. That is what we are talking about, guys. Dave Colwell, I'm stood next to you. Here comes, let's let Kingsley out of the way. I mean, you were just there saying, wow, wow, wow. What a start to Ultimate Boxer 5.
This is what Ultimate Boxer is all about, you know? That was just unbelievable. The shorter man, the man that's inexperienced against an unbeaten fighter, taller, ranger, he dropped his hand looking for an uppercut to catch him on the way in, and he beat him with the right hand over the top, and it was just a beautiful shot. Shook him to his boots. He didn't let him off the hook. Unbelievable start to Ultimate Boxer. Yeah, now, I'll tell you what, that's what you want in a quarter-final, because he's fresh as a daisy.
The perfect start from him, that could really, really, really help him later in the tournament.
Here we go, Amir, right from the beginning. Talk us through it.
And you can see that backhand was always tried to squeeze that backhand, tried to get landed with that backhand. There you can see a huge backhand that put him down. And I just think the timing on that was just right over the top of his left jab was just perfect. Caught with a good clean shot, and then when you see him in that corner, you can see he's a little bit dazed. And that's when he went for the finish. He went there and finished him off with some great combinations and another backhand.
He tried the same shot again. He got nailed with the first shot, looking for that uppercut, dropping his right hand and trying to time him. Gets nailed with the first shot, goes down. But then when he's on unsteady legs, he's tried the same shot again and got done again.
I mean, it's a fair stoppage, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's as clear cut as you need it to be. Yeah. Fantastic first round stoppage.
I saw a quote from Lenny Fuller. He said that his party trick is running the party, and he's come up with that one, hasn't he?
He's got the party started all right there.
I mean, let's. In fact, we can hear from Lenny now. Lenny Fuller is with Layla. Layla.
I'm joined by Lenny, the main man, Fuller, giving us what I believe, we're still going to fact check it, but I believe that was the fastest win in Ultimate Boxer history. Congratulations, you made it look easy, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I told everyone coming into this competition, I'm no underdog. I told them, you're fools if you overlook me, and it showed tonight. I think I got underestimated, and that's what happens when you underestimate me.
You dropped him early on in the first round. Was that just filling you with confidence straight away?
Yeah, I told these boys. They didn't listen to me. I've been getting these rounds in. I'm learning on the game. I'm getting these rounds up. But I told them I have power. And they all sort of looked at me like I was crazy. But they don't think I'm crazy now. Because when I hit the next one with the right hand, they're going to know about it.
Now, you don't only have power. Now you have the privilege of the longest amount of rest time before the semi-final. How much of a difference will that make for you?
It does make a difference, but I don't need no rest. I'm ready to go now.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, through to the semi-final. Lenny Fuller.
Thank you.
I don't need no rest. Love that. Great win there for Lenny Fuller at Ultimate Boxer 5. He advances to the semi-final where he will take on the winner of our second quarter-final between Khan Hawes and Josh Ejakpovi. Join us in a sec.
I feel a lot more comfortable now fighting my natural fighting weight. I think this format does suit me. Fast-paced, 3 rounds, get in, get out. I wouldn't be entering it if I weren't confident.
Early in my professional career, I had the privilege to spar with Billy Joe Saunders, and that taught me so much in terms of how to be relaxed in a ring and how to flow, and it really helped me a lot. There's going to be a lot of violence, fun, excitement. All of us are going to go in there, different styles, we're going to clash, and I think it's going to be very exciting, but I do think I'm going to come out the winner.
Where have you been? We've missed you. We are live from the Indigo at the O2 for Ultimate Boxer 5 here in London, and Lenny Fuller in the most remarkable fashion already through to the semi-final. Khan Hawes up next as he becomes the first fighter to take part in 2 Ultimate Boxer tournaments. He faces the man known as Hollywood Josh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for quarter-final 2 of Ultimate Boxer 5. Scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Your 3 judges scoring the contest are Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, Mr. Mark Bates from Horley, and Mr. Ian John Lewis from Donington, Kent. Your referee over the action, Mr. Bob Williams from Watford, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edgeworth from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He officially weighed in at 11 stone, 1 1/4 pounds, with a professional record of 12 wins and 1 loss. Tonight he wears the pink shorts. He has also featured alongside Samuel L. Jackson in The Legend of Tarzan, but tonight he's looking for the main role. From Marylebone, London, please welcome Joshua Hollywood George Ejakpovi. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, he officially weighed in at 11 stone and 3/4 ounce, with a professional record of 5 wins and 1 loss. Tonight he wears the red shorts, this evening swapping his cricket bat for the boxing gloves. Representing Essex, please welcome Khan Hawes. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, Joshua. Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Let's have a good one.
So the second quarter-final here at Ultimate Boxer 5 is underway. The southpaw wearing the pink shorts is Joshua Ejakpovi, and he's picking his man off, and that advancing figure who is being picked off as he's trying to make his forward foray is Khan Hawes. He's the boxer in the red shorts, the only two-time, or the only returnee in Ultimate Boxer history so far. He appeared in Ultimate Boxer 3 in the middleweight division, and he gave a really good account of himself before. Oh, that's a cracking left cross out of the southpaw stance from Ejakpovi, and another one, off the back foot, darting around the space of the ring and spearing his man repeatedly with a cracking straight left cross. There's the same shot once again, Paulie. You can't miss him.
Yeah, Hawes keeps coming forward at the same speed, and Ejakpovi just keeps taking that half step back and timing him with the left hand. Hawes has to really mix the pressure. I understand he wants to psychologically get in Ejakpovi's face or in his head, but he's got to at least use a feint or change his level on the way in. And right now, he's just coming straight in through the front door, and Ejakpovi's trying to time him with that left hand. And there it is again.
Same shot. And Khan Hawes takes a trip to the canvas. He's beaten the count. Referee Bob Williams tolling the mandatory 8.
I don't even know if that was just that one particular shot or just the amount of left hands he took. He eventually had to go down, you know?
Oh, the same shot on the resumption. It's a double left hand. And Ejakpovi is going through the gears here midway through the opening round.
And this one is on the lead now. Now Hawes is kind of second-guessing himself. And Ejakpovi can actually take the lead here and attack on offense.
He's continuing to time him terrifically with that spearing left cross. He possesses terrific movement, does Ejakpovi. Now he's dropping it down just above the belt line. And as Khan Hawes was slow with his own straight shot, he was countered twice by that same rapid-fire left hand. And there's the same shot right on the money, being worked over downstairs to the body now. And when he comes forward, his momentum stopped by that same jolting southpaw left.
Not enough versatility on Hawes. He's giving you the same look, coming in with the same speed, coming in the same way, and really he's not picking up any patterns of the same punches he's getting caught with. He's not making a single adjustment here. If Ejakpovi misses the left hand, it's because he's missing it. It's not because Hawes is actually doing anything to make him miss it.
So Hawes has taken an awful lot of straight lefts in this opening round. But it looks as though he's going to make it through to the bell to receive some instruction and respite in his corner. Slow right hand once again. Luckily, he wasn't countered by Ejakpovi. It's been a terrific opening round by the former Southern Area title challenger, and he speared him with the same shot once again, continually clipping him with southpaw lefts. And Hawes was pinged by that shot repeatedly in the opening 3 minutes.
He had a confused look on his face at the end of that round. See some of that action in here. We saw how Ejakpovi kind of walked Hawes into the left hand. He check hooks here, and then he has these check hooks to step around, and then Hawes just kind of follows him straight in. You know, he got sidestep. It's a beautiful sidestep. And here later in the round, again with some of these shots, Ejakpovi set it up with a straight left cross to the stomach, and then set up a couple of left hands to the head as well in the follow-up. Hawes really doesn't look like he has many answers. He's going to have to come up with some ideas, and hopefully in the corner they can give him some that he'll be able to pull off for his own sake.
Second out, round 2.
So into the second round then. Ejakpovi, the boxer in the pink, enjoyed a terrific opening 3 minutes. His left hand was accurate in unerring fashion across the course of the entire round, and you can see how pendulous those punches are coming from Hawes. He's asking to be counted once again. Ejakpovi, the tallest boxer in the competition at 6'1". Here's the same shot once more.
Yeah, and Ejakpovi's got a nice jab, and he mixes it very well. You know, he uses it to come forward. Sometimes he jabs going backwards, and sometimes he'll take that half step backwards without the jab. He's all the while looking for the big left hand. Hawes trying to just keep the pressure, but this is the kind of stuff that might work for you in a 10-round fight. In a 3-round fight, you're going to run out of time. You know, so he's got to tactically make some adjustments. It's not just from a mentally pressuring standpoint.
Well, Hawes demonstrating his competitive spirit and his toughness once again, because just as in Ultimate Boxer 3, where he lost in the quarterfinals against Kieran Conway, he went on to, well, to challenge Ted Cheeseman for the British title after his appearance in Ultimate Boxer. Khan Hawes gave a terrific account of himself in that quarterfinal, but was ultimately on the losing end of a unanimous decision over the 3 rounds. Continuing to try to show effective aggression here. But Ejakpovi has been pretty composed in the face of it so far.
And he's smothering Hawes. Hawes wants to get those shots off at this range, but being smothered by Ejakpovi. Ejakpovi knows his range. You know, he knows at what range to fight at what distance to fight at correctly. Hawes seems a bit more confused. He's looking to pressure, but he doesn't really know what distance he needs to throw his punches at, or where he really wants to be. He just wants to come forward and walks right into another big left hand.
Another jolting southpaw left sends Hawes to the canvas for the 2nd time in this quarterfinal. Went tottering backwards. Referee Bob Williams,
and again,
ensuring that he's okay. The fight continues with less than a minute to go. Beautiful right jab from Ejakpovi.
And again, that's because Hawes is coming forward with no rhyme or reason. There's no tactics behind his pressure. He's not changing the look. He's not giving feints. He's not being at all creative with his attack. He's trying to come in right through the front door, and that's why Ejakpovi can easily meet him with left hands.
By the same left hand once again, and there's damage to the nose of Hawes now.
And that was a nice little sidestep by Ejakpovi. Ejakpovi does a good job of fighting off of his athleticism.
Speaking with him in the week, he was explaining to me he feels that is one of his hallmarks, his movement with his feet, speed of thought, and he's demonstrated those qualities in abundance here, and right on the bell he lands with the punch that has been so profitable for him all contest long. That rapier-like left cross, and Hawes was on the receiving end of it in a repeated manner.
Here's a knockdown. You saw, again, as I was saying, Hawes comes forward with absolutely no rhyme or reason. He's just looking to pressure. Look at the jab he's coming in. He's too straight up as he's coming in with that jab. He's so focused on putting the pressure that he's not really looking at his fundamentals, and he walks right into that left hand. And he was another counter left hand by Ejakpovi off the ropes, and there he actually used it to sidestep to the side. Here's another one later in the round at the end of the bell, at the bell as well. Been a fight for the pretty much if Hawes can figure out a way to get around the left hand, maybe he gives himself a chance here in the last round.
So 2 rounds completed, and both of them have been dominated by the southpaw wearing the pink shorts, Hollywood Josh Ejakpovi. Started boxing as a teenager, went down to the Lynn Athletic Club in South London, where he learned his trade. He's got being clipped by a good right hand there from Hawes, perhaps his biggest success of the entire contest. But Ejakpovi remaining composed, but that's a reminder to keep his concentration.
Absolutely, and that was good of Hawes to get off that right hand. He got off another one here, because Ejakpovi's rhythm, his feet are really, really confusing a lot of times for the opponent, especially for Hawes, because he doesn't have good feet at all. And so, you know, the change of rhythm, it keeps Hawes from setting himself to throw that right hand, but I think he's just throwing every caution to the wind here, and as he should in the last round, and letting go of the right hand and not just coming forward.
He's got a massive deficit to overturn, as Khan Hawes, having been on the floor in both the first and the second rounds, though. About to be scored as 10-8 by the 3 scoring judges, Chaz Coakley, Mark Bates and Ian John Lewis, so he really has to go for broke here, does Khan Hawes.
The cut. Step back. The cut on the hairline, I think, of Hawes. That's probably from a clash of heads. You usually don't get cut there from a glove or an elbow, maybe.
See how profusely that is leaking down the torso and side of Khan Hawes' head. Still halfway to go in this 3rd and final round.
So Ejakpovi is difficult to deal with. That is an awkward guy to try to figure out in 3 rounds. I mean, his movement, it's awkward, it's athletic, and he punches off of all of it. He's going to be tough to beat.
Oh, beautiful left hand once again, and that shook Hawes right down to his boots. Hall, this is his first time back in the boxing ring since Ultimate Boxer 3 back in May. Said that he's been spending time with his family, and even though that was at middleweight, he said that, well, the day before weighing, he weighed in under the 160-pound limit. Said that he really didn't feel strong enough inside when mixing it against Kieran Conway. He's operated throughout his career at super welter. Was really keen to give a good account of himself here, but he's been met by an accomplished Josh Ejakpovi in the opening quarter-final. And he's just seconds away from going through to the semis, Ejakpovi.
And also, if he felt like he was too small for the middleweights, I mean, with his rotten luck, unfortunately, he ended up getting the biggest of the junior middleweights in this tournament. Ejakpovi at 6'1" is a towering light middleweight.
And still, Khan Hawes continues to pour his way forward, but he's being walked onto repeated left hand once again. His face a crimson mass now, but there is no denying this man's unquenchable competitive spirit. Continues to come forwards in search of the knockout punch, but he hasn't been able to find it. Hollywood Josh with a brilliant display in the quarter-final number 2. He'll be going through to the semi-finals. And that is a case of the face of the loser really telling the story of this contest, because he's been marked up, he was dropped twice. Brian Lawrence just toweling down.
I was actually trying to see if Ejakpovi was bleeding. There was so much blood there. It's all Hawes' blood all over Ejakpovi as well. As we see some action in that last round. See, Hawes let go of some more right hands. He tried his hardest the whole fight. He just wasn't technically good enough to compete with this kind of style. And not to discredit Hawes, because he gave it a good effort, and Ejakpovi's a really tremendously awkward guy. And to try to figure out this guy in 3 rounds is going to be tough for any opponent in this tournament.
Well, it's an experienced corner team he's got giving him instructions there. Brian Lawrence giving him the towel. And the man in the white t-shirt is the secret. Richard Williams out of Stockwell in South London, the former Commonwealth champion at this very weight. 154 pounds, light middle or super welter, whatever you wish to call it. They've been working together for some time now at Richard Williams' eponymous The Secret boxing gym on the base of London Bridge. And he was telling me, Hollywood Josh, that Richard stripped him completely back, so everything that he had learned up to joining Richard Williams he had to unlearn, and then they've been rebuilding his style, retooling his style once again. Well, Khan Hawes returning to the boxing ring after Ultimate Boxer 3. Undoubtedly this is going to be another losing effort, but you cannot fault the man's effort. He gave it absolutely everything, but met a really accomplished opponent tonight. Hollywood Josh was composed, he was relaxed, and he was completely in control right from the opening bell. When he was offered this opportunity to enter Ultimate Boxer 5 down at super welter, well, Khan was telling me it's an absolute no-brainer. Said he started boxing late, 33 years of age, and to get himself the opportunity to fight on a bigger stage, on the bigger shows, he said he was going to roll the dice and go for it. Hasn't gone his way tonight. I'm sure we'll get confirmation of that from tonight's MC, Terry Kavanagh, when he gives it the official verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Chaz Coakley and Mark Bates both scored about 30-25, and Judge Ian John Lewis scores about 29-26. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. He now moves to the semifinals of Ultimate Boxer 5. Joshua Ejakpovi!
So Hollywood Josh through to the final 4. The tallest boxer in the tournament will face the shortest boxer in the tournament when he squares off against the main man, Lenny Fuller, in semi-final number 1.
Dave Caldwell, Anthony Crolla and Amir Khan with me ringside here for Ultimate Boxer 5. Dave, I mean, that looked like a scene out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, didn't it, at the end of that 3 rounds? It was brutal. Did you say brave to Khan Hawes, or should that have been stopped earlier, perhaps?
I thought Khan Hawes showed a massive amount of heart and determination. He never gave up trying to win. But there comes a time when, for me, after that 2nd round, I wouldn't have let him come out for the 3rd, because there's no way he was going to win the fight. And he kept, every time he get nailed with that straight left hand, which he couldn't get out of the way, he couldn't adjust. And Ejakpovi, it wasn't doing anything elaborate with the left hand. It was just a good southpaw left hand. You know, he had great feet. It was adjusting all the time. And Hawes just couldn't get out of the way of it. He couldn't read of it, and he was getting nailed, and he was getting hurt numerous times with it. It wasn't, you know,
every time it landed.
It was a bit uncomfortable for me to see that.
Amazing, you know, his timing, the way he saw hawk through a shot and catch him over top with another shot. So they see a knockdown. I mean, what a shot that was. That was the left hook that knocked him down, but the timing on that shot and the weight coming forward onto that punch. I mean, if it hits you twice, it hurts you twice as hard. So, I mean, overall, I think it was a great performance by him. You know, look very slick, a very awkward southpaw, great movement, and quick as well with a lot of power.
Paulie said it then, Joshua is going to be very, very hard to beat in this tournament over 3 rounds. We mentioned it then, you've got a feel for Carnors. Last time out, he got Kieran Conway first fight. Tonight, he's got Joshua. He's possibly drew the 2 purest boxers of the tournament in his first fight, and like Dave said, tremendous heart, but what a performance, what a performance.
Definitely a lot of heart. You have to give him credit as well. You know, with all that blood rushing down his side of his head, he's put on a great performance.
And he repeatedly getting caught with the same shot, and he still kept driving forwards, still kept trying to knock him out. He chased the win all the way through.
2 really interesting fights so far anyway at the beginning of Ultimate Boxer 5. Layla is with the winner of that one, Josh Ejakpovi.
I am indeed. Josh, you showed a clinical first and second round, definitely superiority in your skill set. But in the third round, you faced a man who bit down on his mouthguard and just showed pure grit and aggression. How was the third round for you?
Listen, he was a definite trooper. He was like a train without brakes. And, you know, I saw the third round. I knew I won the first 2. And I said, should I stay there and give him what he wants, which is a war? I said, nah, look at his face. I could see in his face he wanted a war. And the art of war says, don't give him what you want. So I said, I'm going to move around, take it easy, make him work, and now I have the third round.
Was there any part of the first 2 rounds where you decided to take it easy as well?
No, I just wanted to see and look at him a bit because he looked a bit predictable at some stages. So I said, let me not think about what I want to do and see what he opens up. And like a present on Christmas, he opened up, and I caught him with a few shots.
It's the line of the night so far, like a present for Christmas. Well done. You're through to the semi-finals. Thank you.
I like that, yeah. Present at Christmas. Congratulations to Josh, who is into the semi-final at Ultimate Boxer 5. And one man waiting to fight in his quarter-final is backstage with Bunsey. Ish O'Connor's with you, Bunsey.
So much indeed, Will, is indeed. Ish, you're the late replacement. You came in, what, about a week ago?
Yeah, about last Wednesday, about a week ago, yeah.
So were you training for another fight?
No. But I'm always in the gym, so I'm kind of ready a bit, yeah.
An Ultimate Boxer, is your type of format?
Yeah, anything.
Any fight, any format?
Any format, anything.
Now, you've got the favourite. Let's not mince our words. We're all big boys. All of that experience, Commonwealth Games, Olympics. You haven't got that deep amateur experience, have you?
No, I haven't. No, a bit unlicensed. That's it, white collar. So, yeah.
But you just get in there and fight?
Get in there, do my thing, yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
Get in there and do his things. Thanks very much indeed. Ish comes in at late notice, fighting a guy that's been in the Olympics, been at 2 Commonwealth Games, no amateur experience. It doesn't matter. That's what Ultimate Boxer is all about, Will.
He's a man of few words, Bunsey, just like you, isn't he? Right then, so semi-final 1 decided. Lenny Fuller will take on Josh Ejakpovi. What a fight that will be in the last 4. And coming up, quarter-final 3, which features the Southern Area champion, Sean Robinson, against the man from Kent, unbeaten, Lewis Sirrett. Join us in a sec.
So most people after their pro debut will probably go out and celebrate or chill out at home, but I actually had to run the London Marathon the next morning for meningitis now, because I had a friend, Tom Allen, who passed away from meningitis, so I couldn't let him down. So it is difficult working a full-time job as a scaffolder and then training full-time as a pro. So I'll get up and I'll run in the mornings, and then I'm going work 8 till 4 as a scaffolder. And then I'll get back and train every evening as well, so it's pretty tiring, but it's worth it. When I win the Ultimate Boxer, it's going to help me pay for my wedding, which I'm actually engaged, so that'll be a great contribution, and hopefully I'll get a Millwall season ticket out of it as well. On fight night, I'm going to bring an exciting style. I'm going to put it all on the line, so they're going to have to do something special to beat me on the night.
What a night it has been. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. Quarter-final 3 up next here at the Indigo in the O2. It's Lewis Sirrett against the unbeaten Southern Area champion, Sean Robinson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for quarter-final number 3, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Your judges scoring ringside, Mr. Bob Williams from Watford, Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, and Mr. Mark Bates from Horley. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Ian John Lewis from Donington, Kent, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edgeworth from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He officially weighed in at 11 stone, 1 3/4 pounds, with a professional record of 9 wins and 1 draw. Tonight he wears the blue shorts. He is undefeated and Southern Area champion from Ruislip, London. Please welcome Sean Robinson. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, he officially weighed in at 11 stone and 1 pound, with a professional record of 6 wins, 2 by way of knockout and no losses. Tonight, wearing the yellow shorts, ladies and gentlemen, he ran the London Marathon the morning after his first professional fight from Tonebridge, Kent. Please welcome Lewis the Lionheart Sirrett. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Boxers, I am the referee. Obey my command at all times. Definitely watch your heads and kick them punches up. When I shout break, you break clean. And remember, defend yourselves at all times. Shake hands.
Well, here we have got 2 undefeated super welterweights facing off in this 3rd quarter-final of Ultimate Boxer 5. So we're underway then. 3rd quarter-final.
And Sirrett, another southpaw, like Ejakpovi was a southpaw. Tournament is an amount of southpaws as well.
That's the man wearing the yellow, Lewis Sirrett, competing in his 7th contest tonight, brings to the ring an undefeated record, 6 fights, 6 wins, 2 of them coming inside the distance. His opponent, Sean Robinson, wearing blue, operating out of the orthodox stance, competing in his 11th contest tonight. He's got an unbeaten record composed of 9 wins, all of them going the distance, and 1 draw. He's the reigning Southern Area champion, having won the vacant crown against Hollywood Josh, who we saw in quarter-final number 3, but not before being dropped in the 3rd round of that 10-round contest at the York Hall in March of this year. Good work with Robinson. From Robinson to both body and head. Wonderful mover is Robinson, and you mentioned the southpaw stance. That is why these 2 men shared over 40 rounds of sparring together, because when Robinson, the man in blue, was getting ready to fight for that vacant title, he knew that Lewis Sirrett was a southpaw, and so the 2 of them got it on. They were helping one another prepare for their respective contests, so they know one another very well indeed through those 40-plus rounds of sparring shared earlier on this year.
And as fate would have it, they draw each other in the very opening round of this tournament. Oh, good right hand there by Robinson.
Beautiful lead right hand, the reverse 1-2 from Robinson. Trying the same combination once again. Beautiful work to the body with the lead right hand, and he's using that backhand very effectively against the southpaw. Sirrett, who said that one of his greatest attributes is his fitness and conditioning, because he likes to fight at a rapid clip. But Robinson doing a good job controlling the tempo of this, moving effectively around the ring, firing in bursts of punches, and just making it difficult for Sirrett to get off.
You can kind of tell these guys know each other. You know, this is a fast-paced fight, but it's still a technical fight nonetheless, you know. A lot of times these ultimate boxing fights, that first round, it ends up being a bit awkward, and the fast pace becomes a bit sloppy. But these guys kept it really technical, although fast-paced.
Nice left hook, right hand combination from Robinson.
Nice defensive move there by Robinson. He was stuck on the ropes, slipped a couple of punches and managed to actually slip around and put Sirrett on the ropes, as we saw. Crafty stuff.
Looking to find the range with that lead right jab, but instead he's picked off by a right hand out of the orthodox stance. Nice slip from Robinson to let the shot go over his shoulder. Right hand that Robinson fired in was wide of the mark, but the looping left was right on the money. Terrific punch picking through this opening round by the reigning Southern Area champion, Sean Robinson.
Yeah, nice shot selection by Robinson. It's carrying the round for him.
Well, a very good round. Terry Stewart into the ring to give the instructions in that blue corner.
Don't drop in on your shots, yeah? Have a drink. My round. Don't get excited, innit? Right? Yeah. What you're doing, you're dropping over yourself, yeah? Let your feet bring you in and take it, alright? Yeah? Keep on that jab there. Use your boxing. You don't need to get in the fight with this kid. You understand it, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah? Just a little bit
Andrew
more
Knight
pressure.
giving the
A
instructions.
little bit more. A bit more water.
Stirrups corner.
No.
The nephew of the man who got him into boxing, Paul Lynch, down at Seven Oaks Amateur Boxing Club in Kent.
As you're pushing him back, this is where I want him, yeah? It's where I want him. Come on, come on.
So into the second round then of this third quarter-final of Ultimate Boxer 5. It's been a terrific start by the man in blue, Sean Robinson, the reigning Southern Area champion. Not only are these men bound by the rounds that they've shared in sparring, Paulie, they're also bound by the same profession, because both of them are on the spanners, up and down ladders all day as scaffolders. So it's very much a battle of the trade. And then check this out. You've got these guys fighting tomorrow with all of their familiarity from sparring and preparing together. The man in yellow is a Millwall fan. The man in blue is a Queen's Park Rangers fan.
And they're playing
QPR
tomorrow.
are playing tomorrow against Millwall at the Den.
This was meant to happen tonight. This fight, they were meant to draw each other tonight.
So very much a case of Friday night, it's all right for fighting, but it may be soccer on a Saturday. Who will be going there as the victor of this third quarter final?
They might be getting on again tomorrow at the game. Oh, good body shot there by Robinson. He just has a sharper shots, better punch selection. Sirat is giving he's giving a good account of himself here. You know, he's well balanced. He's just got to be a bit more creative. He's technically not bad, but he's just got to be a bit more creative, as Robinson is kind of outthinking him in there and a bit faster on the trigger.
So approaching the midpoint of the second round, nice jab. He left the first jab out there, then pulled the trigger again while it was extended, trying a bolo shot to the body. It was almost countered by a right hook from Sirat. Trying to bustle his way inside. Right hand to the body, followed by a looping roundhouse left from Robinson, who went for a right hand lead again and followed up with a clipping left hook. So he really is having success with these punches in bunches, these clusters of punches that he's putting in the direction of Sirat. And Sirat is struggling to get off as he falls short with his right jab once again, and then goes long with a two-shot salvo over the back of Robinson's head.
Yeah, Sirat needs to make an adjustment or two here. He's giving the same look, kind of like Hawes was, except Hawes was technically worse than his Sirat. Sirat's not bad technically. It's just he's not being creative enough to throw off the rhythm that Robinson has right now.
Beautiful work to both body and head once again from Robinson, who's using every inch of this boxing ring magnificently. Referee and John Lewis allowing them to work away. Sirat, who has been bulldozed towards Robinson's blue corner, back to the space of center ring now. Beautiful movement with the legs and from the waist once again from Robinson to get himself out of a seemingly confined position, as we've seen perform another Houdini act to get himself out of the corner.
Yeah, he's done that a few times in this fight. And it's not shaking the confidence of Sirat because he keeps coming forward, but of course it's got to be frustrating because he just cannot corner Robinson the way he wants to.
He knows that the clock isn't in his favor. It's a foe of Sirat, given how effectively Robinson has boxed through the opening two rounds. Because from our vantage point, Paulie, at least from my perspective, Robinson is 2 rounds up here, and Sirat has got to have a massive third round or get his man out of there to have his hand raised.
Yeah, I think it's effectively clear. When we see some of the action in the last round, you see Robinson likes to start with that lead right hand and left hook. He's used that combination several different times. Then he does it very well. He changes range very well there. You know, he understands his distance. He understands what range he needs to be at. He'll take that quick step back out, and then he'll kind of force Sirat to pick up his feet. And as Sirat is picking up his feet, he's a bit slow, and Robinson kind of pounces back on him.
That's okay. You think this fucking round, Sirat? Push. You in? Everything this fucking round. We need this round. Go at him, rough the cunt up, work that jab on the way in, and destroy that body. I ain't seen his hooks downstairs. Jab on the way in, bring the rear one downstairs. All right? Come on, son.
And last round.
So into the third and final round then, in this battle between two familiar adversaries who spent so much time together in preparation and training. It's the man in blue who is repeatedly first on the trigger, quickest to the punch. And Sirat, he's continuing to come forwards, looking for the punches, but again, he's falling short and he can't pin down the fleet-footed Robinson and land any effective offense.
No, and it's also because the way he's coming forward is coming in at the same speed. So Robinson already kind of has a handle on the way Sirat's going to enter into the punch zone.
Apologies if there was any bad language you picked up during the instructions in the corner. Emotions running high with so much on the line for these young professionals. Remember, the winner taking the lion's share of a £50,000 prize fund. Beautiful left jab on a retreat from Robinson. Sirat really does have to go for broke here, but Robinson's boxing a clever fight. He's punching in bunches and then tying his man up and preventing him from working away, eating precious seconds off the clock and disrupting the rhythm that Sirat is trying to establish. Beautiful left hook over the top from Robinson.
Yeah, at times Robinson will meet Sirat with punches when Sirat finally gets to him. Other times he'll smother him, and other times he'll kind of use that Houdini act and spin around. See, there it is again.
Beautiful counter right hand. It was a looping shot.
And Sirat felt that one.
Indeed, it just caused Sirat a little bit of discomfort. He backed off, he grimaced visibly, and now he's not so keen to come forwards. How shaken up or stunned was he by that punch?
Well, it definitely got his attention because Sirat's been coming forward the entire fight, and now suddenly it's taken away that enthusiasm.
So the right hand serving as just a little bit of a deterrent, and it came in at an unconventional angle, whipped up from around the belt line. Sweeping shot, and it really did put Sirat in some discomfort. Beautiful lead right hand again. Sirat keeps on coming, but he simply cannot get to grips with the slippery Sean Robinson.
Well, Robinson, the advantage Robinson has, he slips on both sides. You know, he typically, when you're fighting a southpaw, you try to go to your left, but Robinson actually has Sirat missing when he's slipping both to the left and to the right. So Sirat can't even get a timing or an anticipation on which direction Robinson is going to go defensively.
So concentration, the main asset required by Robinson now, just to nurse this lead and see it over the line. Wouldn't want to walk into a stray elbow or a KO punch. Will put paid to his semi-final ambitions. Oh, beautiful right hand from Robinson. Walked the advancing Sirat right onto it. And that just underlined the superiority he was able to establish throughout the course of that three-round contest. Nice to see that show of respect between the two boxers, but it was this man who found his rhythm early, and once he did find it, it was very difficult to take him out of it for Lewis Sirat. He chased him incessantly, chased him full of intent, but he couldn't get to grips with Sean Robinson, who boxed a very clever contest indeed.
And clever is the key word there. You know, Robinson changing the angle. That was a good right hand that he landed from the side. You see him sidestep here, kind of waits for Sirat to commit and then counters with the right hand off to the side. But really, Robinson showed a lot of craftiness, as you said. You know, he using good footwork, changing the angles, different methods of defense, and of course showed both a right hand and a solid left hook, as you see there in that replay.
So again, familiarity that exists between the two camps. Terry Stewart, the head honcho, down at the Club KO boxing gym in Buckhurst Hill. Between high fives and words of congratulations and commiserations between the two respective teams. Little doubt as to who's won this one, at least from my perspective. We'll await the formality of the verdict and the judges' scorecards. That'll be delivered to us now by our MC, Terry Kavanagh.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored about 30 points to 27 points in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Sean Robinson.
So Sean Robinson, the reigning second area champion, extends his unbeaten record with a unanimous points decision victory over Louis Siret. It's Robinson who goes through to the final 4 and semi-final number 2.
Dave Caldwell, Anthony Crolla and Amir Khan with us here in London for Ultimate Boxer 5. And Steve Bunce came over to me there, and Bunce said that's the most careful, the most thoughtful performance we've had in Ultimate Boxer history.
Well, I don't know about that. You know, I can't argue with that, but I thought tonight he was absolutely fantastic. He picked his shots, his feet were great. And do you know what was really, really impressive, especially thinking about the fighters going forward? That was the most comfortable performance of the night, and he was never taken out of his own comfort zone. He never had to go up any more gears. He kept it simple and he kept it basic. He boxed with a mind of somebody that knows that he's not a big banger, so he didn't try and knock him out. He didn't try and hurt him. He just boxed him, he outboxed him, and he put on a great performance.
Very, very clever, and he looked like he could do that all night. At that pace, just looked comfortable in there. And Louis Siret is no mug. He was trying all night. He handled the southpaw stance very, very well. It was, that was a very, very impressive performance.
Yeah, smart boxing, Amir, wasn't it, from Robinson?
It was very
the question
technical.
is, has he got the explosive side to his game?
See, I mean, he didn't have to show anything today. All he had to do was to box and be smart, not to get hit with any wild shots. He put on a great clinical performance. He boxed, was sharp, kept out of trouble, wasn't caught with anything big. So I think he boxed a real good fight, and I think, to me, he looks one of the favourites on winning this event, this competition, because he's so smart, so sharp, and he's one step ahead of all of his opponents as well.
Just quickly, who would you least like to fight from the fighters you've seen so far?
You know, going off the last fight, I would have said Joshua Ejakpovi, but now I think I'd go Sean Robinson.
Yeah.
Sean Robinson, very, very impressive.
I think Robinson seems the most disciplined and the most comfortable.
It's the way he controlled the pace. He controlled the pace so well there.
Okay, well, let's hear from Sean Robinson. Go on, Amir.
Sorry, I was saying, he fights like a veteran as well, with a lot of experience. I don't know how many fights he's had. I think it's about 9 fights.
Yeah.
But fights like a veteran, so you have to give him that credit as well.
Yeah, top man. Right, let's hear from Sean Robinson. He's with Layla.
He is with me indeed. I'll give him a second to drink some water. Sean, now you couldn't hear what they were just saying about you now, but very high praise, an incredible technical fight. And to some of our team, Caldwell included, you're now the favourite. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I thought I boxed really nice. I got caught with a few silly shots, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. I think I'll get Donnelly next and then hopefully beat him and win the whole thing.
Tell me about the draw, when you saw the draw and you saw who you were matched up against, a fighter that you know well, and how much of a change that made that fight for you.
I like Lewis, he's a nice guy. I knew from sparring it'd be a good fight, but I just thought if I boxed well and didn't fight with him, I could beat him. And yeah, I thought I'd done what I planned on doing, I did. Made him miss and landed some nice shots.
So it went to game plan?
Just box, that's it.
Now, I know as well that your father gets quite nervous and likes to run away and hide during your fights. Yeah. Is that the case? And if so, do you want to tell him you won?
Yeah, if anyone wants to let my dad know I won, he's probably in the toilet somewhere, so hiding.
Out you come! You're through to the semi-final. Congratulations.
Thank you, cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure Buncey will find him backstage. Congratulations to Sean. He thinks he's going to face Steve Donnelly in that semi-final. One quarter-final left to decide the last place in the semis. The Irish Olympian, Steve Donnelly, facing Ipswich's Ish O'Connor. That's next.
I like boxing because it kind of keeps me focused, keeps me right on the right path, do you know what I mean? I train hard, train every day. Why am I the hardest working? Because this is all I do. That's all I do is boxing every day in, day out, spar, fight, train. Other than that, I work good, but when I need to let the fire go, I let it go. I don't like to get hit, I like to move, be on the move. Slick boxing. That's what I describe my slick boxing, yeah. I'm gonna win. When I do win, after that, whatever obstacle, everything comes on my way, I'm gonna overcome it. We train hard in the gym. We put the work in, so it's expected. You know what I mean? You know, just work hard, fight easy. Yeah.
Welcome back, you lot. The last semi-final place up for grabs now, and already in the ring, Ish O'Connor and the man who's brought half of Ballymena with him, Stephen Donnelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for quarter-final 4, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Your 3 judges scoring the contest are Mr. Ian John Lewis from Donington, Kent, Mr. Bob Williams from Watford, and Mr. Chaz Copley from Southend-on-Sea. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Mark Bates from Horley, and your timekeeper, Mr. Nick White from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he officially weighed in at 11 stone and 1 pound with a professional record of 5 wins and no losses. Tonight he wears the green shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a 3-time Commonwealth competitor and Rio Olympian of 2016 from Ballymena, Northern Ireland. Please welcome Stephen Donnelly. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, he officially weighed in at 11 stone 1 3/4 pounds. 2 wins by way of knockout and no losses is his professional record. Tonight wearing gray shorts, looking to make it 3-0 tonight. He's in it to win it. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ipswich, Suffolk, please welcome Ish O'Connor. Referee will now give his instructions to the boxers.
Okay, gentlemen, when I tell you to break, you take a step back immediately. Keep your punches up, obey my commands, and protect yourselves at all times. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves.
Well, Stephen Donnelly is the first ever Olympian to compete in Ultimate Boxer. The most experienced man in the field, facing off against an opponent who has had 0 amateur experience. So we're underway then, the final quarterfinal number 4 in Ultimate Boxer 5 between boxers from opposite ends of the experience spectrum. The boxer wearing grey, the bearded figure, who's twitching. Oh, and his momentum from a missed right hook has seen him take a trip to the canvas.
And I'll tell you,
that's Ish O'Connor.
This can still be a tricky fight because in a few rounds, you know, when you have a lot of experience, you're used to seeing punches and guys moving in a certain manner. And when you have an awkward guy who doesn't have a lot of experience, he can become very unorthodox and very awkward for you. And the punches come at angles you're not used to. As you see Ish O'Connor throwing now, you know, and a guy like Donnelly, who's used to seeing punches come in a more fundamental fashion, may need a round or 2 to get used to it, and you only have 3 rounds to figure this out. So it's not as much of a mismatch in a 3-round fight as it might be in an 8-round fight, for example.
Good uppercuts in the corner just a few moments ago from O'Connor. His feet got a little bit of a tangle once again. Donnelly targeting the left-right combination, but was just wide of the mark. And the point that you raised, Paulie, I was speaking with O'Connor's trainer, Jamie Monk, out of the Ipswich Pro Boxing Club. Good right hand on a chopping trajectory from O'Connor, and he made exactly that point. Flipping right hand from Donnelly is a nice shot. That when you're dealing with a guy who is this quick, this elusive, has ability but not much experience, well, all of those qualities that you highlighted, the awkwardness, the elusiveness, and the body shot has caused him to take a knee to the canvas.
Buddy, I was just thinking that the way you deal with an awkward guy is go to his body, because the head is a little bit difficult to find if he's making unorthodox defensive moves. And sure enough, a guy like Donnelly figured that out. Oh,
right hook, but another body shot on the resumption has doubled over O'Connor for the 2nd time. And any ring veteran will tell you the pain of a body shot takes a long time to recover from. He's back upon his feet. There's still a minute to negotiate in this opening round. Donnelly targeting the torso immediately once again. O'Connor fighting furiously out of the corner and lands a good right hand. Now it's at close quarters on the inside. O'Connor trying to tie Donnelly up and get some respite to just allow that pain to subside. He's still firing bent arm shots at mid-range. Donnelly will no doubt be looking to target that torso once again.
Yeah. And O'Connor really has nothing to lose here. You know, he knows what he's up against, so he figures, you know what, I'm going to go out fighting, and that's what he's doing here. He's been down twice. He's trying to keep his hands moving, and Donnelly's intelligently trying to get to the body. O'Connor being smart, though, he's trying to angle out now to make his body a smaller target. He doesn't want to give it that much. Oh, good shot.
Beautiful left hand caught O'Connor as he was loading up on the canvas for the 3rd time. The referee tolling the count. Mark Bates, but I don't think O'Connor is going to beat it. Indeed, it is waved off in the opening round. So Ish O'Connor, the late substitute who came in at less than 2 weeks' notice as a replacement, the most inexperienced man in the field, facing off against the Olympian and 3-time Commonwealth Games representative, 2-time Commonwealth Games medalist Stephen Donnelly. And despite flashes of the ability that he possessed as well, the experience and ability of Donnelly came to the fore pretty quickly, targeted O'Connor's body, softened him up downstairs, dropped him twice, and then walked him onto a beautiful lead left hand for the final knockdown.
Yeah, it took Donnelly about a minute, but we started getting those body shots in there, set up by a nice right hand to the top, which you'll notice probably brings up the guard, and there's a nice counter hook to the body. And of course, and this is the second knockdown, because once Donnelly had got him down to the body, he was looking for the shot there, and this is actually a shot to the head. It looks like a right hand to the head here. I think this was just the fight was taken out of O'Connor by this point. Oh, it's a jab. Yeah, I think the fight's taken out of O'Connor by this point. It seemed like he almost went down off balance the way he threw the right hand earlier in the fight as well, earlier in the round as well, but just this time he took a jab on the way in, so it was counted as a knockdown. But I think more the fight was taken out of him from those really serious body shots of Donnelly.
Well, Donnelly making his experience count in this opening round, the second first-round stoppage we have had tonight, but Ish O'Connor deserves immense credit. He and Jamie Monk talked about the opportunity that came their way at such short notice, and they decided jointly as a team, well, let's go for it. They came in with high hopes, high expectations, and full credit to him for taking the fight at such short notice, saving the tournament, ensuring that it could go on. But he met a man who was far more accomplished tonight, and Donnelly was able to make that quality count.
Yeah, and quickly at that. You know, in about a minute, he figured out all the adjustments he needed to.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Bates calls a stop to the action at the official time of 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner and the final entrance into semi-final of Ultimate Boxer 5, Stephen Donnelly!
So Stephen Donnelly improves his perfect record. He moves to 6-0 now with 2 stoppages, a first-round stoppage winner over the late substitute Ish O'Connor, and he'll face off against Sean Robinson in semi-final number 2. All of the semi-finals have been set. What a lineup we have in prospect in those final 4 bouts.
Amir Khan, he's got an Olympic background just like you, Stephen Donnelly, and it was a truly professional performance, wasn't it?
It was a great performance by him. I mean, the experience shows in that fight. The way he was picking his shots, and those body shots you could hit with early in the fight definitely slowed his opponent down, and then he gave him that, he finished him off with a headshot, and he was all out.
Just tell us, well, tell me and people at home what it is like to get a body shot like that. You've never taken one of those. Just what does it take
I've
out
taken
of
a
you?
few myself in sparring and in training, but it's one of the hardest shots to be hit with in a fight. I think it's worse than being hit with a chin shot, really, because what a body shot does is slows you down, and it just takes all that energy right out of the body.
It takes a lot longer to shake off as well. When you get hit to the body, you know about it, and you know about it for a bit as well.
It takes all the air out of you, and you can't suck the air back in.
Yeah. And what about the finish there, Dave?
Oh, it was great. It was like Paulie's mentioned in commentary. The body shots had done him. It finished him. It sickened him. It hurt him. And he tried. He fired back with a few good shots. But at that stage, then the jab just nailed him with just perfect timing with the balance. It's gone down, and that's the end of the fight.
We can't be too critical, can we, Amir, of Ish O'Connor? He was a late replacement as well. Exactly. He's got a karate background, but he did say coming into this that he was the fastest in the tournament. Didn't show glimpses of that there.
I mean,
really.
no, he was quick. He was sharp. He was quick. He had a lot of explosiveness, style. He had that. But I mean, when you're fighting an Olympian and a Commonwealth fighter, I mean, it's going to be very hard to fight at that high level, because you have to say Donnelly's fought at the highest level, and it was very hard for obviously his opponent to kind of face that.
Well, while we wait for Anthony Croller's suit to turn up here ringside, let's hear from Stephen Robinson. He's with Layla.
Yes, Stephen's joining me now. Stephen, there was a body shot early on in that fight that he grimaced. You saw that it worked. After that moment, tell me what went through your mind and what your plan was.
I just had to go in for the kill. Morley, I knew he was hurt, so you have to make the most of that, especially in this format. That left hook to the body's been working for me recently. It did in my last fight as well, so I had to go in for the kill and keep going for the same shot, but yeah, I was happy the way it ended.
Your opponent in a last-minute step-in probably meant as well that you didn't have a lot of time to prepare for him. Did you have a clear game plan?
We just knew he was strong, very strong. You see the size of him in there, he's massive, so we knew we had to be careful, had to keep the hands up because he can whack. And all it takes is one shot, especially in this format as well. Everyone's all go, 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 go. So, yeah, I just needed to watch myself, and I was careful and keep the hands up, and that's what I've done.
And now talk to me about the format, because you're through to a semi-final now, and if you're positive in that, you'll be doing 3 fights in one night. With your plan for that semi-final, how do you manage how much you want to win that fight and how much you want to protect yourself and rest?
Yeah, that's it. You just have to be careful. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you're best at. Keep the hands up. Just be smart and do what you're capable of. And in the end, your talent will shine through.
Well, we look forward to watching more in the semi-final. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done to Stephen. So this is how the semi-final lineup looks. It's Lenny Fuller up against Ejakpovi. That's the first semi-final coming up not too long. And in the blue shorts, you can see there against the green, it's Sean Robinson in the second semi-final, taking on the man we've just seen get through victoriously in Stephen Donnelly. Right, about time we caught up with Bunsey, who's backstage with the man who brought fire to that first quarter-final, Lenny Fuller.
Thanks very much, Will. We certainly did. Will Perry there just said you brought fire to that first semi-final. 19 seconds, 30 seconds, 24 seconds. How long did it take you?
It seemed like a split second in there, to be honest. Literally, the bell went and it was over with within, like you say, seconds. I think they might have said it was the fastest knockout on the UB record so far.
Now, once you caught him with the first right hand from the first knockdown, you could tell, you were in close, you knew that he'd do well to recover from that, let alone fight on.
Yeah, any fighter knows when you catch someone, you get that instinct. You know you've hurt someone. But I didn't just jump on it and go messy. I timed myself, sat myself on my feet, threw 4 or 5 good shots, and I knew it was done from there.
So, I mean, people are saying, oh, he's got a great advantage. He's only fought for 34 seconds. Did you want a couple of rounds? Maybe get your body rolling?
No, it's all bets. It's in killer mode. As soon as that bell goes, it's killer mode. Someone's head's getting took off.
So now we're into the semi-final. You've got big Josh, Hollywood Josh. He's tall, different type of opponent, bit smarter maybe, bit stronger, bit bigger. You bothered?
No, Hollywood Josh can meet Mangravit Len. Yeah, no, I'm not bothered at all. I've watched him. He's had 3 hard rounds of Carnhorse Show, great art in there. So I think I'm fit anyway, so... And I plan for these 9 rounds. I can do 25 rounds straight off if I want to. No, I'm not bothered at all. Not bothered at all.
Not bothered at all. We can do 25 rounds. He might do an exhibition at the end of the night. What a night it's been so far.
What a night, Bunsey. Absolutely. And what a fight from Lenny Fuller. Looking forward to seeing him in the semi-finals. Let's find out if Love Island's Jack Fincham is still keen to turn pro after watching those first 4 fights. He's with Layla.
Oh, I think he will still be keen to turn pro after watching that. How's your night been so far? Will is asking if you're still keen to turn pro, if you've been put off.
I'm definitely still keen to turn pro. Definitely. But what a start. What a start. Lenny Fuller set the bar high, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Shots.
Now, you named Ejakpovi as one of your favourites early on. Is that still the case?
I mean, Ejakpovi boxed very, very well. He could not miss with that left hand. He was doubling them up. He boxed really well. But... I'm going to say it's changed now, yeah. I'm going to say it's changed. I'm not going to say who, but it's definitely changed.
And what about the atmosphere here? Because as soon as we had that first fight, 34 seconds, really impressed the crowd. How's it been?
I'll tell you what, the atmosphere is brilliant. Everyone loves to see a fight, and obviously this is the perfect platform for it. 3 rounds, they come out strong. These boys are coming here to win. And like I said, Lenny Fuller, he set the bar high with that, got the atmosphere going, didn't he?
We're looking forward to watching him fight again shortly. Semi-finals coming up soon.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Layla. Good to have Jack with us here tonight in London. And while the Ultimate Boxers take a little bit of a rest ahead of the semi-finals, we've got more action for you, so do not go away. We're going to see a really interesting fight with the former Huddersfield Giants rugby league star, Mick Lermont. He's now making a name for himself in the ring, having won all 7 of his fights since turning pro. The unbeaten cruiserweight is up next. Don't you dare go away. Electric atmosphere here. Hope you're feeling it at home. Welcome back to the Indigo at the O2. We've reached the semi-final stage of Ultimate Boxer 5. But before the final 4 fighters get down to business, we've got cruiserweight action. Mick Learmonth, the former rugby league star with Huddersfield Giants. He's won all 7 of his fights, and he's looking to make a big impression tonight against Poland's Paweł Strykowski. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for 4 3-minute rounds in a cruiserweight contest. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, and your timekeeper, Mr. Nick White from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He officially weighed in at 14 stone and 10 pounds, making his 11th professional appearance inside the squared circle this evening. All the way from Poland, please welcome Paweł Strykowski. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner. He officially weighed in at 14 stone and 2 pounds with a professional record of 7 wins, 2 by way of knockout and no losses. From Leeds, Yorkshire, England, please welcome Mick Learmonth. Referee Chaz Coakley will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, lads, I've already spoke to you both. Keep them punches up. Don't stick these heads in. Go on, touch gloves.
Seconds out.
So we're underway then. We're in the cruiserweight division. This one's scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds. The southpaw wearing the white trunks trimmed with gold is the former rugby league star Mick Learmonth. Competing in his 8th professional contest tonight, he brings to the boxing ring a perfect record. 7 fights, 7 wins, 2 of them coming inside the distance. His opponent, Paweł Strykowski from Poland, competing in his 11th contest. His record is 2 wins, none of them inside the distance, and 8 defeats, 1 of them coming via the short route. Competing in his 5th contest of the year tonight is the man in red. Sole win of the year so far came in his opening bout in his homeland of Poland against the debutant Paweł Czapora. Flashing right hook from Learmonth wasn't too far away. You'd suspect from someone who played prop forward in rugby, plenty of power packed into that 6' 1" frame. He shed a lot of bulk since his rugby days. Still, it's quite a pop in his punches. His first fight outside of Leeds tonight, his hometown. Down here in London for the first time. The rest of his contests have come at the banqueting suite at Elland Road. Just a reminder that it's the Ultimate Boxer semi-finals next, and what a cracking 2 semis we have in prospect at that final 4 stage of the competition. These 2 cruiserweights continue to size one another up in the opening round of this contest that is scheduled for 4.
And the semi-finals and finals are going to really be exciting for Ultimate Boxer 5 tonight. Some good fighters that have advanced out of the quarterfinals round, and the matchups are not easy for any fighter left in the tournament.
Corkscrew right hand attempted by Learmonth. Strykowski showing competence up there in the boxing ring, but not too much intent. Looking busy, doing not very much. Attempted a counter left hook. Learmonth was made to miss. Nice defense with his right glove on that occasion.
Typically, these kind of opponents, you know, Kovski's record being 2-8, you know, his 5th fight of the year. They're typically trying to not to take too much damage. They're experienced guys. They know how to maneuver their way around the ring. They won't try too hard to win. But of course, if you give them the opening, they'll take it. But otherwise, they're going to fight like Kovski.
Survival, very much the name of the game, making it through to the final bell, so you can answer the call when that comes for the next assignment against a prospect on the rise. Lead left hand wasn't too far away from Kovski just before the bell to end round number 1. So there is Hollywood Josh preparing for his semi-final against the main man, Lenny Fuller. Here's Richard Williams in the white t-shirt, Brian Lawrence, the man in the black t-shirt. An abundance of experience in Ejakpovi's corner. You can see how much activity there is in that dressing room. That's another thing these fighters have to get used to in this tournament format, because there are boxers
10 seconds.
in bunches all over the place, sharing facilities. But Ejakpovi's concentration
Round 2.
be squarely on the task that awaits him in the semi-final. That's coming up next after this cruiserweight contest, where we go into the second round of 4. Learmonth made the switch from rugby to boxing after suffering an horrific injury during fitness training with his team. It was a 3-rep bench press test. Did the first 2 comfortably. When attempting the third, his entire pec muscle sheared off the bone, just complete devastation. A long time to recover from. He had the surgery. His arm was strapped to his torso for a number of days. He said when he first started the rehab, and you look at the size of the guy, he said he couldn't pick up a 1 kilogram weight. That's how far back he had to start back from to get mobility and functionality back into the arm once again.
And like a true competitor, not only did he get back, but he figured out a way to keep competing. As here he is in the boxing ring in his 8th pro fight.
Switch sports, having done a little bit as an amateur as a kid, but he enjoyed rugby, enjoyed the physicality of rugby. Played the amateur game, juggling for a while, and he made that switch. And made the choice at 16.
And Kovski's not going to give him anything. If Learmonth wants to get this guy out of here, or if he wants to put on a spectacular, impressive performance, he's going to have to push the issue a little bit and maybe get a little bit more creative. And these are the kind of fights where you learn to do that. You know, these are the kind of fights where you don't just want to win them because you're expected to win them because the opponent is kind of giving you nothing in terms of being a threat to your unbeaten record. But what you want to do in these kind of fights is be working on things that you have to work on. Be working on things that maybe you need to work on and you need to improve on, so that when you do step up in competition, you can use those weapons and they become a normal part of your routine or normal part of your arsenal, you know? So that's why it's important. These fights are important. Sometimes people will look at a guy like Kovski and say, oh, well, what is the point of a guy like this? Well, that's the point of a guy like this, but we'll see if Learmonth understands that and you know, works on these kind of things. And he's opening things up here in this round.
That's a beautiful left hand out of the southpaw stance, just prizing open the defenses of Kovski. Just as you've been alluding to and explaining, Paulie, that's a solid right hand to the body. Then he brought the hook upstairs onto the chin of Kovski. It's down to the creativity and the patience and the guile of the prospect to try and draw out the journeyman out of his shell, find a home through his punches.
That's the thing. You want to work on your traps, work on your feints, work on the things that open up an opponent, and see if they're working on a guy like this. You know, because a guy like this is tough to open him up. You know, you don't want to beat a guy like this where you're just kind of going through the motions, or you're just overwhelming him where you're not really working on anything, because those aren't things you're going to really be doing once you step up to a world-class level.
Well, there is Lenny Fuller getting the hands wrapped and the guard adjusted ahead of his semi-final against the tall, rangy Josh Ejakpovi. And Fuller was telling me during the week that his record may not indicate or suggest it because he had 0 stoppages coming into Ultimate Boxer, but he was telling me emphatically that he is a banger. And didn't he demonstrate that punching prowess in his opening quarterfinal to get this night underway against Kingsley Ejakpovi? He'll be able to use those fast feet and rapid fists to find the chin of the awkward athletic southpaw, Hollywood Josh. So into the second half of this cruiserweight contest that is scheduled for 4 rounds. Learmonth has had things pretty much his own way in the opening 2 rounds. Strakovski hasn't looked to engage on too many occasions. Again, coming out from the corner, coached by Padraig McDonough. Sure, the instructions will have been, well, listen, let's work on something else. Let's see if we can maybe bring the hands down. Let's see how he responds to a feint.
And also keeping a little calmer in there. See, once he does get Strakovski to commit a little bit, he kind of, Lemuth gets a little bit wild, gets a little bit too excited. You know, he's keeping calm. Once you get the commitment, once you see the thing you want to see, stay calm and execute that opening. Oh, there's a good shot right there. And in spots, he does it.
Or switching from a team sport like rugby to the individual pursuit that is boxing, Learmonth conceded that he does sometimes miss the camaraderie that will develop with your teammates and the support staff in a sport like rugby. But again, he enjoys the competitive physical battle that boxing provides. He said even during his rugby career where he was a prop forward, he said he would target the other prop forward if he had the ball, and when the other prop forward had the ball in his possession, he would tell him, come at me, bring it, what do you have? Well, this is the ultimate test of not just bulk and physicality, but thinking and brains as well.
One thing Lemuth will serve better to do is not throw everything so hard. You know, I think with the rugby mentality, with the physical mentality, and like you were talking about, you know, the bring it sort of mentality, so he throws everything hard, and that can work if you're landing all the shots. But against a guy like Strakovski, who's here to survive, you know, he's going to take some of the shots. He's going to ride with some of the shots. He's going to see them coming. So a lot of times what you're better off doing is obviously using your feints, and Lemuth does that, but also taking some steam off some of your shots so that they change speed. And that was a good shot right there. And that was one of the examples because he was able to double up on the left hand, and the only way you can double up on it is if you throw the first one soft.
So Strakovski has beaten the count. 40 seconds to go in the penultimate round. With a beautiful double southpaw left, sending the Polish boxer to the canvas. Well, jab to the body on the resumption from Learmonth. Again, just trying to bring the hands down. That was a beautiful, long, looping right hook out of the southpaw stance. Tried the same shot again, but was wide of the mark. And he's looking to increase the intensity here and raise the tempo with Learmonth, but he's not very accurate with his attempted fusillade of punches.
Yeah, well done there with the double left hand. The first one was sort of a snappy shot, like a jab almost, it came out. And the second one had more weight behind it. The follow-up, he's put a lot of weight on all the shots, and he wasn't able to land all of them. But he's got the right idea in spots. It's going to take some experience.
Talking about the comparisons that Learmonth was making between the individuality of boxing and the camaraderie of rugby. One distinction he did make, he said he would sooner take a week of rugby training over a day of boxing training. That's how difficult he finds getting ready for the noble art. Here's the knockdown.
There's a good shot there, double left hand. And actually, the second one came in as almost a hooking shot. He was able to get some good weight behind it. The first one came in as a speed shot. Good snap on that first left hand. And then the second one, he came around a little bit on the side, hooked it, more planted.
His defense is all over. High, low, high, yeah? Don't fall in. Be nice and accurate. Don't daft now. Just nice and tight. Put on it a bit. Show everyone how good you are, eh?
10 seconds.
Come on, mate. Come on, for yourself, for your family.
Seconds out for the last round.
So into the final round of this 4-round cruiserweight contest. Learmonth, the former rugby league player, dealing with these new surroundings, fighting in London for the first time, fighting on a stage of this magnitude for the first time, and he's dealt with those peripheral things very well indeed. He's been composed for the most part, put his man on the floor in the third round, and he's sticking to the game plan that has been laid out by his corner overall against an opponent who is here on a survival mission.
Well, from the psychological standpoint, this is an athlete. You know, he's played in the rugby league, so I assume he's been in big atmospheres as well there. So I don't know if the atmosphere was ever going to really bother him. But of course, you know, in a different sport, you know, different mental games come into play. But he's handled it well thus far. He's got an opponent who's forcing him to think. He's not really a threat in front of him, but he's forcing him to think and how to kind of open up this puzzle. And it's a learning fight for sure.
James Strakowski, no doubt wary that backhand that we want to put him on the floor with in the previous round. A stranger to fighting in the UK during the course of his 10 previous encounters. Strakowski, what it be your call in his third contest. Both of his wins have come on home soil. In his debut, winning his 7th contest, short of landing an absolute lights-out punch, appears to be heading for another defeat in 2019. That'll make it 4 losses on the spin. That's a good right hand from Strakowski, and again, that is just a reminder to Learmonth that you have got to concentrate. No matter how much control you appear to be in, one shot can change everything.
Yeah,
solid right cross there.
Yeah, and he's not really busy, but he'll give you a shot just to let you know he's alive in there.
Oh, Strakowski presenting a different look now. He's dropping his hands down by his knees for a moment while Learmonth was out of punching range. Beautiful right hand, and he staggered Strakowski heavily. He stagged on the ropes. Learmonth perhaps a little bit slow in going for the follow-up.
I think it was more off balance there.
His feet tangled up with the advertising Toblerone.
And also a left-hander and a right-hander. Sometimes those feet can come together as well and cause a little bit of off-balance stuff.
So closing seconds of this contest then. Strakowski has made it through to the final bell to accomplish his mission. And no doubt that Mick Learmonth, the former rugby star from Huddersfield Giants, has extended the perfect start to his professional boxing career. First assignment here in London. And he will undoubtedly move to 8-0. Putting Pavel Strakowski on the floor in the third round of this contest. So there's the combination of the right hand plus the tangling of the feet with the advertising on the ring apron. So Strakowski momentarily inconvenienced, but managing to right himself quickly enough and navigate his way through to the final bell. We'll head up to centre ring and get the official verdict at the conclusion of that contest just as soon as it is ready in a few moments' time.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Referee Chaz Copley scores about 40 points to 35 points in favor of your winner, Mick Learmonth.
So there we go. Mick Learmonth is 8-0. What a performance from him in London. But after the break, we are back with the Ultimate Boxers, and it's the semi-final stage in the super welterweight division. Lenny Fuller taking on Josh Ejakpovi. Do not go away. See you in a sec. We are having a brilliant night here in London, and this is how our semi-final lineup looks. Lenny Fuller taking on Ejakpovi. That's the semi-final that's up next, followed by Sean Robinson in the blue shorts taking on the Irishman Stephen Donnelly. And Stephen Donnelly is backstage with Bunsey. What's going on back there, Bunsey?
Well, it's suitably chaotic back here, as I told you it would be. There are bodies everywhere. We once had 8, now we've only got 4. We're getting down to the serious part. I'm joined by Stephen Donnelly, the Don. He started the tournament as the favourite. It took him around. How's it been so far, Steve?
It's been good, enjoyable. The guy was dangerous. You knew he was big once he got in the ring there with him. He looked massive, so I had to be wary of him, wary of his power, and he could dig, so just had to keep them a boxing, and then whack that body shot, which worked for me. So worked from the last fight, and it's worked this fight as well.
Now, on paper, you should walk this tournament, but it's not the Commonwealth Games in Delhi or Glasgow or the Olympics in Rio or the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast. All bets are off in this format, and I've seen you not look anxious, but there's a serious look about your face.
Well, you have to take this serious. It's definitely, as you said in the first fight there, Lenny Fuller stopped the guy in the first round. You know, surprises can happen. That's professional boxing with small gloves on, so I have to be wary of that. And I know anything can happen in this game, but I'm going to be too smart. You know, I'm going to stick to my boxing, just do what I can do, and hopefully I can pull this off.
I'm going to mess with your head a little bit here, Steve, because I know I can. Because no, I'm going to be nice. Would you have preferred the 3 rounds, though, or did you want the quick one?
I'm happy enough for the first one, especially in this format. Happy days. Get out there, I'll go back and sit in the changing room, get ready for the next one, keep my energy, you know, but I felt strong in there, so 3 rounds would have been easy. So
any tactics going into this one, or is it just you're going to see as you go along? You've seen what Sean looks like. He's a clever boxer. He's a smart boxer.
Yeah, he's smart. Jared had a look at him there in his quarter-final. We know what we have to do, so we're just going to go in and execute the game plan and just do what I do, and I should be okay.
Do what you do and you should be okay. Good luck in the fight, Stephen. Enjoy yourself. It's going to get messier down here, Will, I can absolutely assure you. Unlike up there where you're being served by waitresses at ringside, down here it's gritty, it's dirty. I love it.
I like messy and dirty as well, Bunsey. Yeah, ringside with me here, we've got Dave Caldwell, we've got Anthony Crolla and Amir Khan. Khan's taking his jacket off, he means business here.
It means business, man. I mean, it's getting warm in here, you can see the crowd. I mean, quite excited, and it's getting really hot in here.
It's brilliant though, isn't it? What an atmosphere for these guys to fight in.
Amazing atmosphere, so I just can't wait. I'm quite excited myself for the semi-finals.
Yeah, Stephen Donnelly, we just heard from him there. You know, like you, so much experience before he even came big time onto the scene, which is what he's still hoping to do, even at his age. But Bunsey speaking to him there and saying, you know, look, you've got the most experience, you should walk this tournament. He looks quietly confident, doesn't he, Amir?
He does look confident, but you know what? There's some good fighters in this competition left. Now, if he takes his eye off the game and he gets too confident, that could be the biggest mistake he makes. So I think he still needs to be on the edge a little bit because there's some great fighters in the tournament.
Yeah, and Lenny Fuller up in this first semi-final, we saw just how he started the night off, and
we didn't see much of him, but one thing we do know is he can bang. And inverse Ejakpovi, 2 very interesting semi-finals, which I think are very different. And if we can get another early finish, it's going to be, I think it's going to be much harder than last time. Then you've got to make him a huge favourite for the final. But I'm going to stick my neck out now. Say the winner, the Donnelly Robinson semi-final, wins the tournament.
Okay, big talk from Crolla. Dave, what are you thinking?
Do you know what? I kind of agree with him. I just think that Donnelly, with his experience and his pedigree, he's seen every style, you know, in the amateur career. I mean, you know yourself, you box every style, don't you? When you box at top level in the amateurs, you see every style. It's like we saw in the last fight. It took a minute to suss him out and get used to the awkwardness and see what he was doing, and then he just adjusted, took him out. And I just think Robinson boxed fantastic the last fight, but you're talking about levels, and I've got a feeling that Donnelly's going to show his levels in that fight. You know, if you're going to have somebody that's going to try and box Donnelly, I think that's going to be his your undoing.
I think one thing that was overlooked in the Donnelly fight then, he hit the body very well, but he established his jab very, very early in the fight.
Donnelly, I think what you have to do is put the pressure on him, and you have to put him in that uncomfortable zone.
Exactly.
Make it uncomfortable, make it a little bit rough. That's the only way of beating him.
Robinson's a boxer, isn't it?
Robinson's a boxer. There's going to be like a technical fight between them. So
the intriguing one's the first quarter final. Because that we've seen a guy for 34 seconds. I don't know how good he is. I don't know anything about him. And with Ejakpovi, we saw how awkward he is and how rangy he is, how he uses his jab well, his backhand well, and his feet well. But he was in against an opponent that just came straight at him and didn't adjust. So I don't know how good either man is. So that's the exciting part.
Yeah, really looking forward to these semi-finals with all sorts of names and faces in the crowd. I just had a look behind you, Dave. Johnny Nelson's in the crowd there in the front row, and Layla's found someone as well. Who are you with, Layla?
Look who I found, Lloyd Griffith, a comedian and presenter. And guess where I found him? Sat here in the front row amongst a bevy of beauties, Instagram models, reality TV stars, and more. I need to ask you, how's your night going, my friend?
Well, it's all based on how big your boobs are. So, like, I fit in with these girls, which is quite depressing for both of us, really.
Now, we know you love your football. I didn't know that you're into your boxing.
I am into my boxing, yeah. So I go quite a lot, go to the O2 quite a bit, Cardiff. But this is different, do you know what I mean? So it's quite nice to like go and see something that is not like your usual boxing nights, really.
Yeah, so it is different. That's what we want to tell everyone out there. Why is it different? What did you love about it?
Well, it's like a tournament, isn't it? So if you go and see a boxing match, I mean, the amount of boxing matches you go to, and it's over in like 15, 20 seconds, and then that's it. And it's like, oh, great, I've flown over to New York to go and see some bloke knock someone out for whatever. Whereas here tonight, do you know what I mean? It's a tournament, so if you fancy someone and they go through, they go through. So, what, is it 4? There were 4 fights earlier on, then it goes to a semi-final and a final, and obviously some filler matches as well. So, you really get a proper night's entertainment. And it's great. And also the queues for the bar are very small, so you get served within like a minute. It's great.
Because it's a VIP bar, my friend.
Stop saying that.
Tell me, is there anyone you're backing tonight?
Well, tonight, so I basically came in and we were chatting to Sean Robinson's pals, and he had a really good fight. Do you know what I mean? Very clinical, really good with his feet. But I have to say, is it Lenny Fuller. Lenny Fuller. He went in the first fight, won in about, was it 34 seconds?
Exactly.
And so he's had a lot of time to prepare for the semi-finals. So you kind of got to fancy, you know, Lenny. So, and also I put a little bit of money on him.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, have an awesome night, Lloyd.
Thanks
Thank you very much.
I'm going to go back to my girls.
Okay.
All right, they're not my girls. All right. Bye.
Yeah, we have to say you've got a lovely set of boobs on you as well, Lloyd. Nice to see you here tonight. Right, out to our first of the semi-finals here at Ultimate Boxer 5, and over to our MC, Mr. Terry Kavanagh.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that our semi-final lineup is complete for Ultimate Boxer 5, we have Fuller versus Ejakpovi, Robinson versus Donnelly. If you are enjoying the show so far tonight, make some noise! Making his way to the blue corner of the ring, Joshua Ejakpovi.
So here comes Josh Ejakpovi, Hollywood Josh, preparing for the first semi-final in Ultimate Boxer 5 after producing a clinical display in his quarter-final against two-time Ultimate Boxer participant Khan Hawes, putting the man on the floor twice. Took his foot off the gas a little bit in the third and final round after having the insurance of a dominant opening 2 rounds under his belt. Hollywood Josh up into the ring, preparing for semi-final number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the red corner of the ring, Lenny Fuller!
Well, here comes the boxer who goes by the nickname of the main man, Lenny Fuller, the 25-year-old from Maidstone in Kent, preparing for semi-final number 1, having registered the quickest knockout in Ultimate Boxer history. A demolition job against Kingsley Egbenike in the opening round in under 40 seconds, catching the man cold with a picture-perfect right hand and never letting him off the hook. He's had plenty of time to reflect and recover ahead of this first semi-final.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for semi-final 1, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Your 3 judges scoring the bout are Mr. Mark Bates from Horley, Mr. Ian John Lewis from Donington, Kent, and Mr. Bob Williams from Watford. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, and your timekeeper, Mr. Nick White from London. Introducing first, Fighting out of the blue corner, he's representing Marylebone, London. Please welcome Joshua Hollywood George Ejakpovi. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, he is representing Maidstone, Kent. Make some noise for Lenny, the main man, Fuller! Referee Chaz Coakley will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, lads, I've already spoke to you both. Keep them punches up. I don't want these heads going in. Touch gloves, good luck. Back you up.
Well, referee Chaz Coakley telling the boxers that he doesn't want the heads going in. Lenny Fuller had to tilt his head upwards to look into the eyes of Hollywood Josh Ejakpovi. Height difference of at least 4 inches between the tallest and shortest boxers in Ultimate Boxer 5.
Seconds out.
So we're underway then, the first semi-final of Ultimate Boxer 5. Good right hand landed to the body by the more compact boxer wearing the white shorts. That is a man who goes by the nickname of the main man, Lenny Fuller. He's targeted that same shot once again against the tall southpaw wearing pink shorts, and he's come over the top with a left hand as well. Very good start by Lenny Fuller as Josh Ejakpovi just taking a look, circling around the perimeter of the ring. Another marauding attack launched by Fuller, but it was neutralized effectively by smothering tactics from Hollywood Josh.
And already a big difference with Fuller and Hawes, Ejakpovi's first opponent. Fuller coming at different angles, attacking at different speeds, and consistently keeping the aggression. The only thing Hawes did was keep the aggression, but didn't change any of the other things up in terms of speed and creativity.
Left hand, because of the style of attack, there it is, straight left hand to the body, but that was a really profitable punch for Ejakpovi throughout the course of that quarter-final over Khan Hawes. But Lenny Fuller presenting an altogether more dynamic proposition.
What you saw a few seconds ago, Ejakpovi tried that jab step back trap that he was setting for Hawes constantly. There he tried it again. You see Fuller doesn't fall for it. Fuller doesn't fall in. You see what he's trying to do. He's trying to jab and then take a half step back because he's trying to draw you in so he can draw you into the left hand. Fuller is a bit smarter, and he's now falling for it. So good shot there by Ejakpovi. So Ejakpovi's going to have to figure out other ways to land the left hand, as he did there with the lead.
So just beyond the midpoint of the opening round. Man with eyes wide in concentration. In the space of the ring, lead right hand lands once again. Quick feet being used by Lenny Fuller to launch these attacks. Ejakpovi trying to land a counter left hook while pivoting away to his left, but couldn't quite find the range.
You see how Fuller's attacking. He's attacking only on the lead. He's not attacking trying to come in off of Ejakpovi's jab, because Ejakpovi wants you to come in off his jab so he can walk you into the left hand. See, when Ejakpovi throws a jab, as I said earlier, Fuller kind of keeps his ground right there. But then Fuller will pick his own spot right there and to choose to lead on himself. So he's changing things up and he's thinking in there. And it's different from what Ejakpovi saw in the first fight.
Snaking shot underneath, and then straight shots landed upstairs before a looping right hand landed by Fuller, who is having terrific success with raiding attacks. It's almost as though the off-kilter rhythm that he's establishing is just giving Ejakpovi a few problems here in this opening round. Can't quite get to grips with the timing of the man in white.
Well, one thing we wanted to see in the first fight from Ejakpovi is what would happen if Hawes was able to adjust to that trap he was setting. We want to see how much Ejakpovi has in his arsenal if he can set other traps. So far, he's proved to be a one-trick pony.
Well, is this going to be called a knockdown by referee Chaz Coakley?
I'm not sure. It might have been on his arm. I'm not sure.
Well, if that is ruled as a knockdown, which it clearly has been, that is going to go into the book as a 10-8 round for Lenny Fuller. He's beaten the count, and it looked as though there was a tangle of arms and legs, which sent Ejakpovi to the canvas, but referee Chaz Coakley picked up the count and issued a mandatory.
I think he overshot the punch, and he dropped him and he actually landed or hit him his arm on him. Let's see. Yeah, see? His arm dropped him. He overshot the punch.
And that was a forearm around the rear of the head, which sent Ejakpovi to the canvas. But it's been called a knockdown, which will go in the books more than likely as a 10-8 round.
Yeah. In boxing, that's not a knockdown. Maybe in some other combat sports.
It's being called a knockdown as we see some of the action. Great shot success from Lenny Fuller, who probably edged around due to combinations like that.
Yeah, and he picked his spots intelligently. He, like I said, he wasn't trying to attack off of Ejakpovi's jab. Ejakpovi wants you to attack off of his own jab so that he can set the distance and trap you with that straight left hand. So he wasn't letting him dictate the attack.
Well, what type of change in tactics is this going to elicit from Josh Ejakpovi now, who's tagged with a right hand once again, and Lenny Fuller on the front foot immediately. But remember, with that knockdown having been scored, the onus is on Ejakpovi to now be the aggressor, even if it's an aggressive counter-puncher, like with that left hand, but he has got to turn this around from what is a 2-point deficit in round one.
Well, Fuller is looking for the right hand that got him the knockout in the first fight. So far, he's thrown it twice in this round so far. He's with that overhand right, he's that looping right hand, and he's found the mark once, and partially found the mark the second time. Now he's starting to come up short with it, so he's gonna have to look for something else.
Good right hand to the body landed by Fuller, and again, Ejakpovi waiting but not really finding the range with his punches so far in this contest with any sustained success. Minute gone in the second round. Ejakpovi continuing to bob and weave and feint in front of his man, sparring with that right hand, but he's not pulling the trigger, and he's tagged by a beautiful right cross from the more compact Lenny Fuller.
And it's that looping right hand again that keeps landing. It's the shot that got Fuller the knockout in the first fight, and he's starting to find a home for it in the second fight.
Lenny Fuller, despite having just 6 fights coming into this, looking for that looping overhand right once again. But he's able to prepare as Ejakpovi lands a good southpaw left. He's able to prepare as a full-time athlete thanks to sponsorship. He said that since going full-time, he said he realized how crucial rest is in the armory and preparation of an athlete. Not just hammering away and working away in the gym on strategy and fitness, but he said the elements of rest, and that's what going full-time has allowed him to do.
Oh, absolutely. Rest, diet, and sleep are all just as important as working hard.
Inside the final minute of this round.
Well, I guess rest and sleep are the same thing, right? Rest and diet for sure.
But I suppose you can rest without sleeping. I think that's the point he was making. Good body shot from Fuller. And Ejakpovi, well, there's plenty of feinting, plenty of watching, but he's not getting off. And he could well be conceding this round on work rate here.
Yeah, and Ejakpovi is looking for his awkwardness to create openings for him. The only problem is this. That awkwardness will create openings if you're landing punches off of it. Ejakpovi has to figure out a way to land punches. If he can land some punches, then the movement becomes more confusing because Fuller has to go find him and get the points back. But because Ejakpovi has not done enough scoring, all this movement becomes wasted movement.
So Lenny Fuller back to the red corner, and the instruction of Lee Page from the Evolution Gym in Maidstone.
See some of the action in that last round, and again, there's the right hand that right hand right there got the knockout in the first fight, right there, just the same exact way. Just that Ejakpovi, instead of looking for the uppercut like was Fuller's first opponent, he bit on the feint, but he stepped back. The first opponent, Ejakpovi, was looking for an uppercut when Fuller gave the same feint.
Yeah, this is it.
10 seconds. Bit on it in different ways.
Yeah, you decide what you're going to do. Yeah, you got to knock it out.
Seconds out, third and last round.
So the secret, Richard Williams sending out Josh Ejakpovi for the third and final round in a fight which he is probably trailing in. He was put on the floor in the opening round. He looked as though he was outworked in the second round, so could be facing a considerable deficit here in the first semi-final against the compact Lenny Fuller from Maidstone in Kent. He's targeting that right hand once again, but was wide of the mark on that occasion. And Ejakpovi has got to demonstrate here and now that he can do something different to turn the contest in his favor.
Yeah, Fuller really composed. I mean, Ejakpovi's a bit more flat-footed this round, and I guess he kind of lets you know that he knows he needs a big shot. But Fuller looking very composed in his stance.
With Hollywood Josh in the week, and he said that he picked up that nickname during his amateur days at the Lynn Boxing Club, Lynn AC in South London, as he targets a straight shot to the body. Said that his clubmates gave him that moniker because they perceived him to be something of a diva. And he said it's
funny. He winds up in Hollywood with the Jackson movie.
And he's wound up in the acting profession, but he said that he's put the acting on hold, where he did stunt coordination and working alongside major stars like Samuel L. Jackson. He said he's put that on hold for now, and the focus is boxing. This is his first outing since losing in the challenge for the vacant Southern Area title in March of this year against fellow Ultimate Boxer competitor Sean Robinson. And this semi-final could well be slipping away. We're at the midpoint now, and Ejakpovi has got to do something different, because at this tempo, at this territory, it's suiting the man in white, who is surely ahead after 2 completed rounds.
Well, Fuller fought a brilliant game plan. You know, you don't really think game plan a lot of times in 3-round fights, but he fought a brilliant game plan. He's been either all the way out or all the way in. So therefore, he's forcing Ejakpovi to find him instead of the other way around.
Just came together there as the southpaw orthodox boxers came close.
A lot of times the shorter guy will get caught in that middle range of the taller guy, and you know, he won't be able to land, but the taller guy will be able to find him. But Fuller's been very cognizant of that distance, and he's been able, like I said here, he's all the way out. Well, he can't land the shot, and neither can Ejakpovi, and then he'll execute his entrance really quickly, and Ejakpovi won't expect it.
Terrifically quick feet once again demonstrated by Lenny Fuller to close the distance and find a home for his straight shots, which are going to be really in Ejakpovi's mid-range, given how tall and long he is.
And Ejakpovi has good legs too, it's just they're not as controlled. You see, it seems like Fuller has a bit more control of his style. Ejakpovi's sort of all over the place. He needs to find a little bit more confidence in what he wants to do. He's got an awkward movement, but he seems like he's trying to figure out himself what he's trying to do a lot of times as he's moving, instead of having a plan for that movement.
Well, as well as being a full-time boxer, he also trains individuals. Richard Williams' Secret Boxing Club. He said he sometimes employs the Harold Graham trick of trying to get his clients to tag him with shots. They don't have much success with it, but Lenny Fuller did tonight. He found the chin of Josh Ejakpovi in the opening round, where he was given a knockdown to make it a 10-8 round, even though it was a forearm around the rear of the head that sent Ejakpovi to the floor. And then he appeared to outwork him in the second round. Fuller appeared to take his foot off the got in the third round, but surely Ejakpovi hasn't done enough to overturn the deficit he was facing for my money at the end of round 2.
And something to keep in mind, we heard the guys at the host position discuss who they thought the favorite was in the final between Robinson and Donnelly, but something Fuller has put himself in position for here. He's got an easy first fight, quick first fight, and this fight didn't take a lot out of him either. The next fight between Donnelly and Robinson, those are 2 very good fighters. It could take a lot out of the winner, and it could give Fuller an advantage going into the final. We'll see, because Robinson and Donnelly are about to fight next.
It's rather subdued over in the blue corner. Ejakpovi and Richard Williams converse, looking rather pensive is the Secret. All the boxers are brought together at centre ring, and we'll get the verdict. This one going to the scoring judges. Mark Bates, Ian John Lewis and Bob Williams are the 3 wise men who will determine the outcome of this one. But look at the contrast in body language, Paulie. It's a pensive corner over in the blue corner to the near side of our commentary position, but all smiles over in the red corner with Lenny Fuller and his team.
Yeah, Fuller was very confident, and he should be. You know, he's had himself a good Ultimate Boxer 5 so far.
Well, let's head up to our MC, Terry Kavanagh, to get the particulars at the conclusion of our first semi-final.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored about 30 points to 26 points in favor of your winner. He now moves to the final of Ultimate Boxer 5, Lenny Fuller!
Lenny Fuller, absolutely ecstatic, taking every round for all 3 judges. The first round is 10-8 round after putting Ejakpovi on the floor with that forearm around the rear of the head. And it is Lenny Fuller who goes through to the Ultimate Boxer 5 final. Josh Ejakpovi eliminated at the semi-final stage and confined to his second loss in the pro ranks.
Yeah, decent fight, wasn't it, that on Ultimate Boxer 5, the first semi-final of the night. I'm with Coldwell, I'm with Crawler, and I'm with Khan ringside here in London. What do we make of that? What an opportunity now, Dave, for Lenny Fuller in that final.
I thought he boxed fantastic. I thought he was so smart, really intelligent. He didn't fall for the traps that Ejakpovi wants to set you. Yeah, and because he didn't commit, Ejakpovi wasn't comfortable going forward. After he lost the first, lost it 10-8, I didn't agree with the knockdown.
Yeah, let's have a look at that, shall we?
I didn't think it was a knockdown, but regardless, it scored.
It was a forearm, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a forearm. He brushed him over. But once you know it's a 10-8 and it's a 3-round fight, you've got to go for it. You have to adjust. But he still came out in the second round trying to box on the counter. If you're only a counter puncher exclusively and you cannot go forward and you're getting beaten and your counters aren't landing, you've got problems. And that's, I think, it was exposed a little bit there.
It made me wonder there. Fuller mentioned how he can't out-punch. And I said to Dave, I said, maybe he is very heavy-handed because Ejakpovi just seemed very wary to commit with anything, wary to, go for it. And, you've got to take your obstacle there. He boxed you've shown the importance of a great first round. With the knockdown or without, he won the round. And then Ejakpovi couldn't come forward. And, he took him right out of his game plan. Very, very impressive on Fuller.
I just feel Ejakpovi just held back a bit too much at times when he should have put the pressure on and boxed him and thrown more shots. He didn't stop throwing shots at times. He was getting caught with the overhand all the time. I think the knockdown in the first round kind of knocked his confidence. That's what I think. And that's the reason I just don't see him coming back. I was sat near his corner men, and they also, kept saying to Ejakpovi, look, you need to go out there and he start throwing more punches. But you could see in him, I think I'm not going to say his bottle went, but I think he was just a little bit, he just held back a little bit.
I think he was hesitant because his confidence was draining because he was missing with everything. I think with a lot of smart counter punchers that have got, especially the southpaws, if you can take away the jab from them, and they don't feel comfortable with landing anything else.
Well, they mentioned that Fuller was either all the way in or all the way out, and after he got the good start, he waited for Ejakpovi to come and just made him overcommit, overreach, and outbox the boxer.
Well, listen, he wants to get back to the dressing room, so let's hear from our finalist of Ultimate Boxer 5, Lenny Fuller with Layla.
Lenny, congratulations on an emphatic win. Your first fight here tonight had everyone shocked and jumped up in their seats within 30 seconds. Your second fight, you managed to disturb the rhythm of Mr. Hollywood. Was that the game plan?
Yeah, it was the game plan. I knew he had a hard first round, and I knew I could outbox him. And I was, every fight you can go in without, you have to give it all in every fight. But I knew I was cruising through that fight, just picking my shots, slipping. I knew I was too strong, and he felt that power in the first round, and he didn't want to come near me. That's why I say in this next round, in the final, that's why they call me the governor. I'm the main man. They're going to show I'm going to beat this finalist with ease. Any of these 2 boys that come through, I'm going to beat them with ease. I'm going to have family behind me, and yeah, the Gypsy Warrior!
I'll leave it right there. The perfect last word. Lenny Fuller through to the final.
Yeah, Lenny Fuller bringing it in London tonight at Ultimate Boxer 5. He's into the final. Who will he face? The second semi-final is up next. Sean Robertson against Stephen Donnelly. But this is how Lenny Fuller did it. Into the final with ease. Welcome back. It is bouncing in London town. The first finalist, Lenny Fuller, is into that showpiece after overcoming Ejakpovi. But who will he face in the final? The second semi right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the blue corner of the ring, Stephen Donnelly.
So, Stephen Donnelly, the Olympian from the Games in Rio 2016, into the boxing ring in a hurry to prepare for this second semi-final after scoring a first-round stoppage over the late substitute Ishmael O'Connor. Body shots, a prominent and profitable part of his armory in that first-round stoppage, where he put the man from Ipswich on the floor 3 times, 2 of them coming from sickening body shots. So he through to the final with a minimum of fuss against the late sub Ishmael O'Connor.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the red corner of the ring, Sean Robinson.
Sean Robinson extended his unbeaten record to 10 wins out of 11 tonight. 1 solitary draw in his last outing before Ultimate Boxer, which saw him retain his Southern Area title. Crossed London at the York Hall, but in his quarter-final against his familiar rival and fellow scaffolder, Lewis Sirrett, he produced a very good display of boxing, moving and tactical awareness, and he just marching across the center ring and letting Donnelly know, I'm ready for it, I'm here. And this promises to be a contest of high skill between 2 accomplished operators.
Absolutely. I think Ultimate Boxer 5, as far as the whole field is concerned, might be the most skilled version of Ultimate Boxer we've had overall. You know, usually we have some different styles. We have some skill styles, we have some punching styles, we have some awkward styles. You know, I think this particular tournament has shown a lot of fighters with a lot of skills, and both semi-final bouts I think have pitted very good boxers against one another, and I think this one is really, really a good matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in semi-final 2 of Ultimate Boxer 5. Your 3 judges scoring the bout are Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, Mr. Mark Bates from Horley, and Mr. Ian John Lewis from Donington, Kent. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Bob Williams from Watford, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edgeworth from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Ballymena, Northern Ireland, please welcome Stephen Donnelly. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, representing Ruslip, London, please welcome Sean Robinson. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Both guys got their game face on, talking.
Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Both guys can fight.
Stare down between these 2 semi-finalists.
Both guys can fight, and both guys want to fight.
Keen to get it on in this second semi-final to see who will be facing off against Lenny Fuller for the lion's share of the £50,000 prize fund.
Seconds out.
So we're underway then. A hard right hand is the first shot thrown by the boxer wearing green. That is Stephen Donnelly, 2016 Olympian, 2-time Commonwealth Games medalist. Looking to establish a good left jab, which wasn't too far away. The figure bobbing up and down in blue is Sean Robinson. So much intensity before the opening bell exchange between these 2 men. Heads coming together on the inside. Robinson walking his man back, looking to unfurl an uppercut. The 2 men are chest to chest. Good shot to the body once again from Donnelly after making Robinson miss with his left jab.
And Donnelly's under a couple of sharper shots thus far. Good little body shot in there again by Donnelly.
Targeting the torso effectively to begin this opening round. Approaching a minute gone. Exchange of jabs there, both of them filled with plenty of pop. Men feinting with the feet, looking to draw that lead. They can perhaps count a good double jab and a right hand from Donnelly.
And Robinson cannot get the timing of Donnelly. When Donnelly gets off, Robinson is only defending. Not even showing him coming back.
Oh, that's a good right hand to the body from Robinson, but it was countered by a left hook to the body from Donnelly. Terrific skill in evidence in the opening half of this opening round. Beautiful left jab from Donnelly. Dipped at the knees, snaked it on an upward trajectory, and there's another jolting straight left from the man in green.
That's the kind of fight you want to see. Actually, less more than 3 rounds. Good combination by Donnelly. Now he's turning southpaw.
Comfortable switch hitter is Stephen Donnelly. It's a trait he demonstrated throughout his glittering amateur career.
Back to the right-handed stance now.
Robinson tucking up well, but again was tagged with another right hand to the body beneath his left elbow.
Robinson is not taking anything devastating, but he's taken a few different shots that he's had trouble figuring out how they're getting to him, and so it's starting to make him a little gun shy. He's starting to sort of backtrack a little bit more and react a little bit less.
Good uppercut on the inside from Robinson. Donnelly responds with a 2-shot salvo to the body. Beautiful left jab once again from Donnelly. It really is a disruptive punch. See the face of Robinson just beginning to redden slightly. Lead left hook was a nice shot as Donnelly skipped off to his left. Beautiful shot on the inside from Donnelly after making Robinson go long with his attempted right hand. And Donnelly looking to assert his greater experience here now, and that was indeed a very good opening round. That's why he pumped his right fist before taking a seat in the blue corner.
Yeah, commanding first round by Donnelly, and he gave Robinson something to think about going back to his own corner. Some of that action from that last round. This was the opening seconds of the fight. You saw Donnelly kind of feint downstairs with the jab and then shoot the right hand over the top, sort of like how Fuller got Ejakpovi in the first fight. Something similar to that there. Here's some of the inside firing. So Robinson throwing a good right body shot, and Donnelly catch and shoot with catching it on the arm with the left hand and shoot back with his own left hook to the body.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 2.
So Kevin Campion, the figure in a black t-shirt, with the final words of inspiration and instruction before Terry Stewart reinserted the mouthpiece for Sean Robinson. We're into the second round. Oh, that's a beautiful left hand to the body. 2-shot combination, and those shots were dug in with some terrific timing. And Donnelly looking to quicken the tempo to begin this second round, looking to continue the dominance that he asserted in the first 3 minutes.
I tell you, Donnelly doesn't just go to the body just to go to the body. Like, he actually knows how to get those shots in there and in the crevices. Good uppercut inside by Robinson. He needs to give Donnelly something to think about like that.
Over in Delhi at the Talkatory Stadium back in 2010. Donnelly lands a good right hand to the body once again. That was the first time that Donnelly represented Northern Ireland at the Commonwealth Games. Went in with high hopes, but lost in the first series. And such was the devastation of that defeat in the opening series against Luke Woods of Australia. He was shut out in the course of that contest. Well, he was caused a disturbance in the athletes' village, had a little bit too much to drink, and was sent home by the team delegation. And again, such was the devastation, he actually stepped away from boxing for 2 years, shut it down, didn't want anything to do with it. But he returned, got himself back into shape, got himself back to full fitness, and represented Northern Ireland at the two subsequent Commonwealth Games. First of all, Glasgow 2014, where he won a bronze at 69 kilograms, and then at middleweight on Gold Coast 2018. He said the crowning glory of his career was making it through to the Olympics in Rio. And all of that pedigree is being exhibited here. That's a good left hand from Robinson. But Donnelly, not deterred, stays in the pocket and fires back with a good two-shot combination.
And Robinson trying, good body shot inside by Donnelly. And that's the thing. Donnelly lands a good body shot here and there, and he'll take away your confidence really quickly, because Robinson is a good fighter, and he'll land the occasional shot there to get some confidence. But right away, Donnelly will take that confidence by going right back to the body, and now Robinson is backing up.
Robinson looking for an uppercut and hook on the inside, but couldn't find the target. That's a good left jab from Robinson, just disrupting Donnelly momentarily. Step backwards, but now with his boxing stance back beneath him, he walks his man down before Robinson ties him up and walks him backwards. Good left hand to the body. It was a glancing shot from Donnelly, and then he burrows away with punches just above the belt line. Robinson back to the perimeter of the boxing ring. Nice defensive maneuvers with the feet once again. Now onto the front foot. Good left jab, right hand that followed from Robinson wasn't too far away. Good left hand to the body from Donnelly after trapping Robinson on the ropes.
And Robinson has to start catching that body shot with his right arm and shooting an uppercut right off of it. He's tried the uppercut on the inside a few other times, but he's got to use it on the counter because Donnelly's getting too comfortable throwing that hook to the body, and it's a good one.
And there's a real contrast in body language between the two boxers as they head back to their respective corners. Let's listen in to Terry Stewart.
All right? Yeah? You've got to be fast off it. Yeah? So load up. No, don't load up. He's just beating you. He's just beating you off the punch. Stop him, no. Yeah, but he's just beating you off the punch. Yeah? Don't be silly. Keep tight.
Action from that round. You see Robinson backing up. There's a little short uppercut on the inside, and he's had some success with that, but he's going to have to use it a little bit on the counters because Donnelly figures out ways. There's a good jab exchange by both guys in that little moment. But Donnelly finds ways to land that left hook to the body, and Robinson can actually transition his own uppercut if he's able to block that hook to the body and just shoot that right uppercut right off of that. And I think he's going to have to do some of that to take away the confidence of Donnelly to throwing that hook to the body, because Donnelly just regains any control Robinson might be able to take just by throwing that hook to the body and landing it.
Well, Robinson perhaps aware that he's trailing in the contest, and he's come out stepping on the gas looking to quicken the tempo.
Robinson has not lost the hunger to win this fight. It's just he's got to figure out, still trying to figure out how he's going to win it. But he's not deterred. You can see in his body language he's still trying to win the fight.
And there's a real change in posture and territory here because the increased aggression being exerted by Robinson is just causing Donnelly to box on the back foot, but he's comfortable in this type of stance and territory.
And compare it to the last fight where Ejakpovi also needed the last round. He didn't show as much urgency. You're seeing a guy who has not lost the fight in his mind. He's behind. Robinson knows he's behind, but in his mind, he can still win the fight. Ejakpovi last fight kind of in his mind, by the time the third round came, had kind of in his mind had already lost the fight.
Terrific exchange on the inside as both men bring punches underneath. Right hand on the resumption. Oh, good left hook landed from Donnelly, but look at Robinson fighting on the inside, and this one turning into a phone booth battle as the boxers demonstrating their prowess and the art of infighting.
Nothing to save it for, and Robinson again shooting with that right uppercut that he's had success with.
And he says to Donnelly, come on. The two men oblige with an exchange of jolting jabs. Good right hand to the body from Robinson, who to his credit is really going for this. The midpoint of the third and final round. The man who was born in Ealing but lives in Ruislip knows that he's trailing in this contest, and he is emptying the tank in pursuit of victory here. He's not being reckless. He's continuing to box in an orthodox fashion. Oh, his knees were just dipped by a right hand that landed around his ear, but he roared defiantly and steps right back into the pocket.
He does, and he's looking for that uppercut. Donnelly has not gone to the body as much this round. There it is, a small body shot on the inside.
Well, in his...
But it's been Robinson trying to take control, take the lead in the attack.
Caught by a beautiful little clipping hook just a few moments ago. Good right hand to the body from Robinson. Donnelly responds with a two-shot combination downstairs in kind. Terrific infighting here at short and mid-range. These two men really are demonstrating the art of fighting on the inside. Robinson continuing to try to close the distance on his man. Donnelly knowing that headbutt. Time is on his side, just looking to get himself out of that harmful position.
This is a real shame that this fight has to end after 3 rounds. This is the kind of fight you want to watch, kind of see how it's going to develop. Two good fighters.
He's on to the front foot now, closing seconds of the 3rd and final round.
Step back, step back.
Sean Robinson, the scaffolder who's able to take some time off from work. That's a beautiful burst of punches to the body before finishing with a left hook. And a terrific performance. Robinson gave it absolutely everything in that 3rd and final round. He acquitted himself well throughout. But surely it is Stephen Donnelly who will go through to the final.
Yeah, Robinson may have won the 3rd round, but I'm not sure he was able to get any of the first 2 rounds. So it seems like Donnelly has advanced in my eyes. But we'll see now. This fight certainly took more out of the winner than did the last fight. And of course, the winner of this fight also gets a little bit less rest time.
So Stephen Donnelly in a hard-fought affair against Sean Robinson. But look at Robinson having his knees dipped, but right back into the pocket.
That was a good little right hook there by Donnelly out of the southpaw stance. Came out of nowhere. And that was the uppercut. Robinson had some success with that uppercut throughout the fight. And the short uppercut there by Donnelly as well. Good exchanges. I tell you, both guys really showed they wanted to win the fight. They fought with skill. They fought with determination. So it's the kind of fight that kind of embodies Ultimate Boxer.
Plenty of desire in evidence from both boxers. No little skill as well. It's been a terrific contest in the 2nd semi-final between Stephen Donnelly and Sean Robinson. We're just awaiting the tabulation of the scores. From our perspective, it seems as though it is Stephen Donnelly who will be going through to the final to face Lenny Fuller. Let's get that confirmed, or indeed the result confirmed, with our MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges scored about 29-28 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. He goes through to the final of Ultimate Boxer 5, Stephen Donnelly!
So, to the delight of the travelling fans from Ballymena, it is Stephen Donnelly who progresses with a unanimous point decision win, 29-28 for all 3 judges, indicating the fact that Robinson fought right up into the final bell by taking the 3rd and final round, we assume, for all 3 of the ringside observers. But it is Donnelly who goes through. Sean Robinson suffered his first professional loss here at the semi-final stage of Ultimate Boxer 5, but he played his part in a magnificent contest of high skill. Stephen Donnelly and Lenny Fuller will be our Ultimate Boxer 5 final.
Yeah, Dave Caldwell, Anthony Crolla and Amir Khan with me ringside for Ultimate Boxer 5. Guys, that was a brilliant fight, the closest fight of the night, Dave.
I thought it was a real high-quality fight. You know, they boxed at range, they exchanged jabs, they exchanged great bodywork, and then the last round ended up being a hard fight for Donnelly. I know he's gone through and he's won, but that turned out to be a hard fight for him. I thought it was going to be a lot more technical all the way through, but then, you know, Robinson's heart, he never stopped trying to win, and he never stopped slinging and fighting with a much more experienced man, the higher quality and experienced fighter at a higher level, but he gave it everything, and he turned it into a really good fight. He's proud of himself.
Paulie mentioned it then. For me, that was without doubt fight of the night. Paulie mentioned it. You'd love to see that
Could've
over
got 11 rounds,
10, 12 rounds. You'd love to see it. And Joe, I think a special mention's got a goal to Robinson there. He's a baby. Was he 23, 24 years of age? I've been really impressed with him tonight. I think just a better start of Donnelly, again, when we say how important it is to get a good start, was the difference.
Yeah, credit to Robinson, you know, put on a great fight. A little bit inexperienced, I think, with Donnelly's experience, winning the fight, his strength, he looked stronger in there, threw some great body shots. I just think the age and the experience won him that fight today, and like I said, yeah. I do think he will go all the way now.
Yeah, we'll look ahead to that final very shortly, Amir, but I know that Stephen Donnelly waiting to get back to that dressing room because they need every second's rest that they can get, don't they, between the showpiece, and Layla is with him.
Well, firstly, Stephen, thank you. That was an amazing fight to watch, and I would love to have watched 12 rounds of that. Although, if it was 12 rounds, you probably wouldn't have fought quite in the same way. I want to hear from you about the last 3 minutes, because you were going into that 3rd round. I believe you must have known you were 2 rounds up. Yeah. Tell me where your mind was at in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I knew it was 2 rounds up, so I knew he was going to come. That's all. He has to give everything. That's a big opportunity for him as it is for the rest of us. So I knew he was going to be there, and he was. He was tough. He's a good opponent as well. He's Southern Area champion, so that's a good sculpt for me as well. Only my 6th pro fight there, so I'm only still learning myself, so there's still loads more to come from me also.
Well, you say there's a lot more to come from you. How much did that last round take out of you?
Yeah, I did work hard, but, you know, we've worked hard in training, so there's still loads there to give as well, you know, so I'm going to dig in. I'm better when I box as well, so I'll fight when I want to, but I'm far better when I box, so we'll see what the final brings now.
It's been a busy night, but no doubt you've seen Lenny Fuller fight this evening. You're going to be facing him in the final. What are your thoughts on your opponent tonight?
Yeah, I've seen me clips of him in the change room there. Yeah, he's going to come forward, he's going to be game, he's going to give it all the talk, but here, we'll see when we're in there, sure, and the best man wins.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, through to the final.
Cheers, thank you.
So this is how the lineup for the final of Ultimate Boxer 5 looks. Lenny Fuller in the white shorts, taking on the man you just heard from, the Irishman, Stephen Donnelly. Right, let's go backstage and speak to Bunsey, who is with Lenny Fuller, and I imagine, Bunsey, Lenny would have been enjoying that, wouldn't it? Waiting for them to knock 7 bells out of each other, exhaust each other.
Because that's what Lenny, in all fairness, that's what Lenny was predicting. He said these two are going to have a hard fight, and they did have a hard fight, Lenny.
I told her that. Like I said earlier in the interview, right from the beginning, these boys overlook me, and they'll be forced to overlook me. So that's why I'm in the final, and that's why I'm going to be taking the gold robe home.
You came into the tournament as one of the underdogs. You know, a kid that was going to give it a go, not without all that amateur pedigree. In the first fight, you were brilliant, took the man out cleanly. In that fight there, you outboxed a guy that was that much taller than you. Stephen Donnelly, he's different league to those guys, though, Lenny. Is it going to be that much harder for you?
Is he a different league?
Good question.
Just watch Sean Robertson boxing, man. I'm not taking anything away from Sean Robertson, but they're saying Olympian this, Olympian that. I'm no different to Sean Robertson. Ejakpovi boxed Sean Robertson, and they had a real good cracking
over 10 rounds.
Over 10 rounds. I think over 4 rounds, over 3 rounds. He's had a grueling couple of fights. I think I'm ready. I think I'm edging this.
Lenny, you got no fear at all, have you, of these guys?
No, I swear I come from. Steve. I don't have no fear. We're born fighters. I was brought up fighting badgers. Up there, Fuller, gypsy warrior.
Big badgers, obviously, not little badgers, because badgers are only...
I was only about 5-6-year-old. No winners in the trailers, nothing. When they come in, I had to have a fight with them to get them out. That's how I learned to fight, me. I'm one hard bastard.
Well, he said there that he thinks you're just going to take it to him, but you've been doing a little bit more than just taking it to people. You've been moving your feet. You've been thinking a little bit. In fact, I'm going to put it to you, you've been conning people.
I said this from the beginning. I can box. I know I can. You don't get called up in the first year of the pros to do 24, 25, maybe more rounds with Luke Campbell for nothing. I know he's not no like super welter, but nor am I. And it shows. Nick, after this, I'm dropping back down to super lightweight. So I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with at super lightweight, let alone super welter.
Is it fair to say before I let you go that you're enjoying it tonight? You're loving it, in fact.
Yeah, every second of it. I mean, if you don't enjoy the sport, you might as well give it up. You can't get in here. Everyone has nerves, they do, but nerves make me better. As soon as I get them nerves, it brings it. And I've boxed journeyman. I probably look shit against journeyman, but when a good fighter gets in front of me, I switch on. I know where I am.
Lenny, it's been a pleasure talking to you about badgers and all other stuff. And if you're wondering why I didn't apologise for the first swear word, is I knew they came in twos. 1 and then 2, so apologies for that language. He's had to evict badgers from his trailers with no windows. He's been the underdog in both fights. You can't rule Lenny out. It's that simple, boys.
It's all going off back there. Absolutely love it, Bunsey. Are you guys impressed, though, given the height difference between Lenny Fuller and the other fighters, just how good he's actually been, Amir?
Yeah, you know, the height difference Fuller is a shorter guy, more of a stocky guy.
Yeah.
I think generates a lot of power using the floor, you know, and you can see he's got thicker legs. So I think in this fight, and also I want to also explain about having maybe 2-3 fights in one day. It takes a lot out of you.
And he looks so calm still.
And he looks so calm and chilled. Because we fought, I'm sure Crawler has as well in the amateur days. There come days where we might 3-4 times we might fight in one night. So I have to give these guys a lot of credit because whoever wins the fight, I wish them both all the very best, but it takes a tough cookie to kind of do that.
That's exactly what Lenny said that would happen, exactly what he would have wanted, wouldn't he? Those two going at it.
Yeah.
And now he's had that extra rest, which has proved so important over the last few tournaments.
And he was right, and listen, we've seen it in the semi-final last time out. Damien Chambers, he had such a tough semi-final. It was a great shot by Michael Wild, but the semi-final played a huge part in that. was nowhere near as brutal as the semi-final that Dwayne Chambers had, but he certainly had the tougher of the semi-finals physically. But I think the start's going to be so important here, and I mentioned throughout the night to the boys, Lenny Fuller, he looks a weight or two below, and he's just mentioned, I'm going to go back down to super lightweight. Whether he'll go down that low, but he's so confident, no fear in the lad.
And just quickly, Dave, I mean, he's coming up against a guy with so much more experience, as Buncey has established there, been to the Olympics, been to a couple of Commonwealth Games. Is that going to be in his favour?
Yeah, obviously that is in Donnelly's favour, but Fuller doesn't care.
He doesn't,
and he is very, very fresh. He had such a super quick first round win, and then he controlled the pace of the second fight, of the semi-final. So he's controlled it, he's been within himself. That was kind of like a spar for him. So I think he's got more gears in him, and he's going to give it absolutely everything. And Donnelly's tired. And although Donnelly may be fresh in the first round, that tiredness could hit him in the second round. Halfway through the second round, that tiredness,
That's
when
right,
you just fatigue.
I still feel that we've not seen how good of a boxer Fuller is yet.
No.
You know, we've seen him knock someone out, knock his opponents down, but he is a good boxer as well, which I see.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a game of a lot of skill, a lot of movement, a lot of tactics. So,
but if it becomes if Fuller's tight when he attacks, because he's got to be tight, then I think even if it becomes a dogfight, it's going to be exciting.
And also you have to remember as well, Donnelly was in a bit of a dogfight before this, so he's going to be a little tired, isn't he?
Let's check in with Layla, who's with the man with just a casual 2.4 million followers on Instagram. Is Jack Fincham behaving himself?
Yes, he is, absolutely. And we have had the best seats in the house, sat right next to the ring. How's it been for you so far, my friend?
Well, I've been pretending to be a judge. I've been sitting there pretending to be a judge, yeah.
With a pen and paper making points?
Yeah, we've been making fake notes, being a fake judge, you know. But give the scorecards and they weren't listening to us.
We've had a good night. So, Lenny Fuller versus Stephen Donnelly in the final. Did you call it?
I called it after. I did. I called it after the first quarterfinals. For me, Lenny Fuller's want to come out and win this. You know, he's got a big heart. You know, he boxed so good against Ejakpovi. You know, body, head, switching. But I think Stephen Donnelly might be a bit too classy for him.
So you say classy, he's far more technical, high-paced. Have we got technique, though, over grit and real aggression in Lenny Fuller?
I just think a boxer will always beat a fighter. So I don't know. Obviously, Lenny's going to come out to win, but I think, you know, Donnelly will be able to deal with it and he'll outbox him. But who knows, you know? Who knows? One punch can change a fight, do you know what I mean?
That's the whole point of Ultimate Box. It's going to be a good final. I've just heard, finally, just to quickly ask you, that you're heartbroken you can't come to the after party, because Ultimate Boxer after parties are meant to be amazing. What's your problem? Why aren't you?
Look, I'm really annoyed I can't come to the after party. I've got to go to a club in Oxford.
Boo.
No disrespect to Oxford, but, you know, I'd rather be partying here with the boxers. I'll get my sparring gloves out, ready for it, you know what I mean?
We'll see you after the final.
Yeah, Crawler can't make the final after party either. He's got a fight coming up, which we'll talk about later, and see what Amir Khan's up to as well. But the final lineup of Ultimate Boxer 5 is complete, and this is how it looks, because this man, Stephen Donnelly, is into that showpiece. He will take on Lenny Fuller after coming through a tough semi-final, the closest fight of the night against Sean Robinson. It was a good one. It's going to get better after the break. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the Indigo here at the O2. The last two standing in Ultimate Boxer 5, Lenny Fuller and Stephen Donnelly. But fear not, we've got some action for you. Albania is being represented in the Indigo here. There may be a short rest for our finalists, but we have a super lightweight knockout artist in Florian Marcu, an Instagram sensation, 4 wins, 4 KOs. Don't blink.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for 6 rounds in a welterweight contest. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Mark Bates from Horley, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edwards from London. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He officially weighed in at 10 stone, 6 1/4 pounds, with a professional record of 11 wins, 6 by way of knockout, and 3 losses. All the way from the Czech Republic, please welcome Miroslav Lumberjack Szczerban! And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, he officially weighed in at 10 stone, 6 1/2 pounds, with a professional record of 4 wins, 4 knockouts, and no losses. All the way from Albania, Florian TNT Marcu. Referee will now give final instructions to the boxers.
Okay, gentlemen, when I tell you to break, you take a step back immediately. Keep your punches up, obey my commands, and protect yourselves at all times. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves.
Well, what a phenomenon this man is. Florian Marcu, a huge star in his native Albania. And a fair number of them of his countrymen appear to have made their way to the Indigo Theatre here at the O2 Arena tonight. So we're underway then. Contest scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds. And the southpaw wearing the black trunks is Florian Marcu. 4 wins out of 4, all 4 wins coming inside the distance. The boxer wearing red, who has begun the contest by tucking up tightly and being forced onto the back foot, is Miroslav Szczerban from the Czech Republic, competing in his 15th professional contest tonight. He's got a record of 11 wins, 6 of them coming inside the distance, 3 defeats. One of those via the short route, and that was in his last contest. He was stopped in the opening round. It's Sean McComb, who was 6-0 going into that contest. He left hook attempted, but blocked comfortably enough with the right glove by Marcu.
Switches very comfortably. He's already switched a few times from the southpaw stance to the right-handed stance.
He made his pro debut December of last year, Marcu, but he was born into fighting. Left his homeland at the age of 4 when the family moved to Greece, and he said almost immediately he got into kickboxing. Over 100 kickboxing bouts and MMA fights under his belt. He was a world kickboxing champion on 3 separate occasions. He decided to switch to the noble art he feels is the ultimate challenge.
You can see he's very comfortable in there, you know, and obviously you can tell it's from the pedigree, having fought in so many combat sports, having fought almost his whole life.
Nice right hook after a flashy combination, got behind the left glove, and there's the same shot once again. Szczerban fires back, but he's been put under significant pressure here in the opening round. He's the man in red, as the left hand spears between his high-held gloves. Marcu looking very composed in the first half of this opening round, and it really is a raucous atmosphere in here. Huge Albanian flags being unfurled and draped over the banners. Looping right hand attempted, and then the beautiful left hand to the body and right hand straight down the pipe from Szczerban, showing that he is very much a live contender in this contest.
Oh yeah, he had to let Marcu know that he was there. He hadn't really reacted yet. Now the fight should start opening up. Because up until that point, Szczerban had mainly just put in a very defensive posture.
That right hook is a cracking shot from Marcu. is delivered rapidly, and it's able to get behind the attempted defenses that Serban is attempting to put into place with his left hand. Jolting backhand out of that southpaw stance from Marku. He's appearing completely composed up there in the ring. Just a reminder that it's the Ultimate Boxer final next. The atmosphere is lively here, thanks to the Albanian support that has turned out to support their national hero, Florian Marku, in this, his 5th professional contest.
See some of that action in the last round. It's some sharp shots, quick hands by Marku. And he mixes the touch shots with the power shots. You see right there, he's trying to open up Serban. You see what he did with the penultimate punch of that combination. He actually used it to move the glove out of the way of Serban and then slip in his right hook. So some crafty, nimble stuff for a guy with 4 professional fights. And of course, Ronald, that's because you mentioned that he has so much experience in MMA and kickboxing as well. This guy's, if it's any kind of fighting, he likes doing it.
Corners, 10 seconds. And round 2.
So into the second round of this contest, scheduled for 6. Florian Marku fighting here at the O2 Arena. Of course, we're in the Indigo Theatre. He fought on the main stage of the O2 Arena in July in his most recent outing, where he scored a 4th round stoppage over Tommy Broadbent. Oh, good left hook from Serban. Again, showing his aggressive intent as he's looking for bent arm shots once again behind the gloves of Marku. But for that contest in July on the undercard of Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman, Marku sold 800 tickets.
Wow.
That's how popular this guy is. He said that he knew about 20 of them personally, but all of his country, all of his compatriots, just as they are tonight, getting behind him.
And honestly, a lot of Albanian fighters, Albanian culture, they really support their fighters. Even in the United States, I have to say, Albanian fighters that I see get a lot of support from the Albanian community. It's a very tight-knit community, and they support their fighters thoroughly.
Marku said, oh, that's the chopping right hand, which wasn't too far away from Marku, but he echoed those sentiments exactly. He said he knew about 20 of them personally as he lands a thunderous left cross which dipped the knees of Serban, but he remains concentrated and he's coming back with hard shots to the body. Nice hooks around the back of the gloves from Marku, who's waving his man in and saying, okay, I like this type of exchange, bring it to me.
Serban lively, but Marku is so used to exchanges and so used to just combat in general. He's just very calm in the storm.
Quick-fisted clusters coming from Marku. Again, Serban really composed. He takes a hard shot to the body, perhaps straight south of the border, but Marku goes right back to the torso once again with a terrific left hook beneath the right elbow of the fighter from the Czech Republic.
He touched up top first. Nice little double hook. A little check up top and then drop to the body.
Very explosive is the man nicknamed TNT.
Technically very sound too. You know, he's a little up high, which you can tell is probably from his kickboxing background. You know, a lot of times boxers are a little bit more bent at the legs, but it doesn't really affect his boxing, at least not in this fight. You know, he's very well balanced nonetheless. He steps in and out from very well balanced position, and his punches are coming from a very well balanced position.
The scything right hooks are just putting a bit of a swelling around the the left eye of Miroslav Serban. Keep his hands up to protect that optic, but such is the accuracy of the hooks that are coming in. Here's evidence of it.
Is there a swelling or a cut? I'm not sure.
Swelling that could be about to burst into a cut. Such has been the accuracy, particularly from that right hook from Florian Marku through the first 2 rounds. But a very competitive second round. Serban showing that he's in the fight. I don't think he's winning the fight, but he's making his presence felt.
Yeah, he throws some dangerous shots here and there just to at least show his presence. And he's not there to survive, but it's just he's a bit outclassed by Marku. You see some of that action from that round again. There's a double left hook to the body. This is beautifully done right there with the touch up top. It's the check up top to the shoulders, kind of to have you lift your elbow so that it opens up the body shot downstairs. Serban didn't lift his arm up high enough to be fully affected by that body shot, but of course it was a beautifully set up body shot, and I'm sure he felt it partially at least.
Corners, 10 seconds. Ready, go. Round 3.
So into the third round then. It's been an action-packed contest so far. Miroslav Serban, his pro debut back in January 2016, completing his 4th fight of 2019 tonight. A well-traveled individual, having fought his 3rd contest in Poland, 4 times in Slovakia, 7 times on home turf in the Czech Republic. Competing for the 3rd time here in the UK, having fought twice previously in Belfast.
And he's lively, you know. He's not. He doesn't want to let Marku just get too confident and walk him down with these power shots. So he's in a defensive posture, but he'll show some violent technique here and there just to try to keep Marku honest.
Marku out of the southpaw stance is really making hay with that southpaw left in this 3rd round, targeting it once again, but Serb unable to. Deflected on that occasion. He came back with a good right cross of his own.
Marku's so calm, even at that short distance. You just see the calmness. He's thinking in there and looking for that opening. And even when things are flying his way, he's not affected at all.
Thudding right hand again, even though it was partially blocked by Serban, still enough to disrupt his balance. Nice defensive work with the gloves from Marku, blocking shots. But then how about that for a quick-fisted cluster from Serban, getting through the defenses of Marku.
Partially, but it doesn't affect Marku's thinking pattern. You know, it doesn't. Marku is still comfortable at that range, and that's the thing. You have to try to make Marku a bit uncomfortable at this range. Otherwise, he's going to continue to just walk you down and throw these creative combinations that he throws with good speed. So, that's the thing. Serban has been lively at times, but he hasn't landed anything clean enough or something that's gotten the attention of Marku enough to change the thinking pattern of Marku and his approach to this fight.
Beautiful accuracy with that combination of punches from Marku between the gloves and then around the rear of the left glove with the right hand, the final shot of that salvo. Spurred Serban into action though. Again, his competitive instinct remains intact because he's still looking for a way to win this fight, even though he perhaps doesn't have the tools to do the job, but his desire cannot be questioned. Beautiful accuracy once again as Marku looks to pull the glove down on the follow-up and come around the corner with the right hand before spearing the man's defenses once again with straight shots.
Yeah, he's got a lot of veteran tricks, and that's why he doesn't fight like a guy with four fights.
Action-packed round of boxing once again. Florian Marku demonstrating some delightful skills during the course of that 3rd.
See some of the speed combinations, and again, you look at that lead left hand sometimes of Marku. What he does is push down Serban's lead left hand, and here from the southpaw stance, he'll do it with his right hand. Well, a lot of times he'll push down the right hand and bring it down. I don't think he's doing it in that particular replay, but you see some of the examples of the speed of Marku there.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 4.
So into the second half of this contest that is scheduled for 6th. Not always an accurate barometer, but just to give you an idea of how big a star Marku is in his homeland as he's driven back to the ropes. He's got over 500,000 followers on social media. Serban working away with the Albanian fighter tucked up on the ropes, but look at him fight off the strand, sinking in, sickening body shots, and Serban trying to reduce his height and cover up that torso, which is being tenderized by some terrific hooks.
I'm not sure what happened. Serban wanted to break himself, so he gave Marku the break to let him fix his shorts.
Bit of a gentleman's agreement there. Marku taking the time to adjust his guard, and as you say, Serban welcoming that respite that he got from that withering body attack.
Yeah, he probably said, you know what, you fix your shorts, I'll recover from the body shot you hit me with. Oh, there's some more body shots.
And then a chopping right hand upstairs once again, crashing him around the temple repeatedly after pulling down the attempted defenses with the left hand. Marku presenting a different posture, tagged by a good right hand there, but again, he's the type of fighter who's going to present those opportunities because he's content to fight at short and mid-range.
Yes.
Again, mentioning his huge profile on social media, friends with the Arsenal duo, Shkurdan Mustafi and Granit Xhaka. So close to the Liverpool ace as he looks to go through the gears once more and targeting both head and body to terrific effect. And just standing in punching distance, presenting a target to Serban in an attempt to make the Czech Republic fighter open up. And he's so quick that he would back himself to score with a counter. Liverpool ace Shkurdan Shaqiri, the Switzerland international, was here ringside the O2 Arena in July. See him score his 4th victory out of 4 contests. Trained with those footballers on occasion as well. Strength and conditioning training with Granit Xhaka. Prepares up in Bushey, just outside London. Wouldn't divulge what type of numbers those guys can produce in a gym during strength and conditioning sessions. Sworn to secrecy.
I'm sure it's among them, the competition. Setting us up a good round here. Some of the shots are getting through a bit cleaner here for Marku in this round, especially that left hand.
Showing his toughness is Miroslav Serban, because at the start of the round he was really hit hard with some effective body punching. Another good round for TNT Marku.
Vidíš, jak on už chodí? On už začal chodit. Ale Miro, vyser se na ty přesný, dej mu tam klidně za ucho. Jsi profi boxu. Obtání ho. Normálně, jak ti tam postojí, obtání ho. A jak ho to rozhodí na nohách, tak potom vyleď. Jo? Hluboký nádech. Dobrý, Nosicko.
See some of that action again. You see that? You see again the pushing down of the lead arm. You see the touch to the body. You see how Marku sets up these shots to the head here. Watch the lead hand. You see push down the lead hand and then come over the chop with the right hand. You see he did that a couple times in that exchange. He likes to do that a lot, and he likes to do the body shot where he'll touch the shoulder and then drop it down to your liver. Those are 2 things that he does consistently, but he does them very well.
So into the penultimate round of what has been an action-packed encounter. Little doubt who's winning the contest. The man currently operating out of the southpaw stance, Florian Marku, has been more effective, the dominant boxer in each of the completed 4 rounds. But Miroslav Serban, as he's demonstrating here, remaining full of intent, trying to win this fight, being outgunned in many respects, but he will not stop coming. Good left, right landed by Serban, forcing Marku backwards. Again, only spurs the man into action. He possesses terrifically quick hands. It's a raucous atmosphere here at the Indigo Theatre. Type of atmosphere that fight fans of a certain age will remember was always in evidence when the Albanian eagle Kreshnik Kato fought. He was a fan favorite at your core, the man who was former English middleweight champ. Nice exchange of uppercuts on the inside by both boxers. But he too used to bring out the Albanian community with huge flags of the national flag with the black eagle on the red flag.
Give Serban credit. He's trying to hang in there. He's trying to hang tough through the assault of Marku. He's trying to make a stand here in this round.
There's Nick Cato now passing on his knowledge at one of the coaches up at Stonebridge Boxing Club, which is where Mikel Lowell, the Ultimate Boxer 4 champion, plies his trade. His son, Nick the Eagle Jr., I think is his nickname. He's developing into a promising amateur boxer as well. Oh, these two men. Oh, those are two terrific left hooks to the body from Marku. Just continuing to try to break down Serban, and look at how that left hand to the body caused the man to wilt, but he's staying in the pocket, trying to unload with his own offense. He's just again giving you the impression of a fighter who is being outgunned, but that does not deter him from his efforts, trying to continue to find a way to come out on top in this contest and deter Florian Marku, but that's proving almost impossible to do through this point of the contest. Left hand to the body once again, and Marku continuing to break down the man in red. Oh, that's a cracking right hand from Serban, perhaps his best shot of the entire fight, but Marku didn't miss a beat and got right back on with his own work.
Absolutely, and credit to Serban. He's forcing Marku to work here. He's outclassed by Marku, but he's forcing Marku to work. He's forcing Marku to stay responsible, and when Marku's not responsible, he'll land the occasional shot.
Poslední 3 minuty, Milko. Teďka udělej si to po svým, obtahuju, ale nechci vidět tady to v tom rohu. Nepřilez tam a nezůstaň mu tam hlavou.
See a nice setup of that body shot. And this went a little bit low, but there's double hook to the body there by Marku. Earlier in your first replay, you saw him set it up with a right uppercut, and that will kind of bring the arms to the center for Serban in order to block the uppercut to the head, and then you bring the hook around the side. So different angles, different ways and different angles that Marku sets up these shots.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, 6th and last round.
So into the 6th and final round then. What has been an explosive contest to this point. Florian Marku looking to extend his perfect record at the expense of Miroslav Serban. Serban from the Czech Republic, who represented his country with some distinction on the international stage in the what was vest and head guard in those days. Head guard has since been removed in Olympic-style boxing, of course. He represented Czech Republic at the Olympic qualifiers, didn't make it through to the grand stage of the Olympics. Plenty of international representation for Czech Republic during the course of his tenure in the unpaid code. Made this a competitive affair. Probably conceded all 5 of the completed rounds, but he has made Marku think on occasion, but hasn't really taken the man from Albania out of his rhythm. Marku still demonstrating terrific hand speed as Serban landed the greater volume of punches in that exchange. A cracking right hand over the top. Serban isn't really presenting him the opportunity because he's still full of aggressive intent in this fight, but I wonder what would happen if Marku were to try to launch one of these sustained attacks that he demonstrated earlier on in the contest at this stage of the fight.
I think Serban has given him just enough to keep him a little bit honest, you know. And even now, Serban is still trying to press the issue a little bit. You know, even if he's gotten the worse for wear, it's kept Serban busy, it's kept Serban honest, and it's probably a good experience in Serban's professional boxing career.
Good shots to the body once again.
The way it's going right now, it's going to be the first distance fight Marku has in his professional boxing career.
Miroslav Serban, indeed. Oh, exchange of right hands, my goodness.
Yeah. Left cross from Marco, right cross from Serban.
Lead left hook with an explosive shot from Marco, backing Serban up now inside the final 40 seconds. Big intake of breath from Marco. Still, he remains on the front foot, walking his man down. Serban still trying to make him pay a price as he looks to get inside his own punching range. Well, a terrific contest, that one. Florian Marco going the distance for the first time in his professional career, competing in his second scheduled six-rounder, but for the first time in the pro ranks. An opponent to Florian Marco, and indeed Florian Marco himself, hearing the final bell. No doubt that he'll have his hand raised as the victor. Miroslav Serban played his part in what was a very entertaining contest, as he worked and had some successes himself, but he's probably conceded. May well be a shutout victory here, but that will be down to the scoring of the referee. An entertaining affair nonetheless. Well, let's get the verdict then from tonight's MC at the conclusion of that contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 great rounds, we go to the scorecards. Referee Mark Bates scores the bout 60 points to 55 points in favor of your winner, Florian!
Albania are making some noise here in London tonight. It was a nice little sandwich filler, but we are counting down to the main course and the final of Ultimate Boxer 5. It's Stephen Donnelly taking on Lenny Fuller. Stephen Donnelly, remember his route to the final, he got past Ish O'Connor and Sean Robinson. And this is Lenny Fuller, who says his party trick is running the party. Wins tonight for him over Kingsley Egbenike and Josh Ejakpovi. That final is coming next. It's been quite a night here in London. It is going to get better. Do not go anywhere. The final coming right up here. We're live on BT Sport. We're live on Box Nation. And after 2 wins each tonight, Lenny Fuller in the white shorts will take on Stephen Donnelly in the green. What a finale we are in for. What a showpiece. What a night it has been. We've heard from Lenny Fuller, our first finalist. Steve Bunce has been catching up with Stephen Donnelly.
Lenny said that you've had a hard fight and you've got nothing left.
Well, he's going to say that. I know he's very cocky, isn't he? That's the way he is, but you'd expect that from him. He's confident, and that's fair play to him, but we'll see now. The final's not far away. We'll see who the real winner is.
Now, he's done something, Lenny, in the sense that he hasn't a lot of experience, all unlicensed and white collar, but he's beating guys that really should be giving him a harder test, Steve.
Yeah, he's been impressive, hasn't he? He's thrown that overhand.
Telling the truth.
Yeah, he's been impressive. I know I'm in for a hard fight. It's not going to be easy at all. Just need to stick to my boxing and do what I'm best at and try not to get dragged into a fight. So I'm prepared for a very hard fight.
I mean, there comes a point in Ultimate Boxer when you can want to box, want to move, but at some point, and you knew this, we talked about this 6 weeks ago, you get sucked in, don't you?
That's it. You're going to get sucked into a fight, or you're going to have to dig in to win the big prize at the end. So you're going to have to work really hard, and I know that's what's going to happen in the final as well. So let's do it.
Now, you only get 30 minutes between coming out of the ring and getting back in the ring. You're talking to me now, and I really appreciate it. But have you stretched out, had some sweets? What's been your plan?
No, just sat in the changing room there, had a wee drink, a look at the sport. That was it. That's it. Just ready for the final now.
Now, I'm just going to let people know there were 3 changing rooms here, so I assumed you were in number 1 and number 2. No, you and Lenny were in the same changing room. They're singing and shouting and screaming. Did they know you were there?
Yeah, we've been in the changing room from the very start, so we maybe weren't expecting to meet in the final, but both of us have won our fights, and here we are in the final, and none of us are going to budge from the changing room, so we're stamping our authority, and no one's moving.
So we're down to that thing. It's that first round. You've got to win the first round. Do you box, do you fight, or is it a bit of both?
We'll just have to see. I'm going to go in and just use that big jab, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Stephen Donnelly in the final. He started as the favourite. He's come through 2 fights. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. Now it's the final.
Oh, can't wait for that. Yeah, Dave Caldwell, Anthony Crolla and Amir Khan with me ringside here in London. How cool was that story? Sharing a dressing room, Dave. I just got this weird image of them just staring at each other in absolute silence.
I've just been backstage. I've been in that dressing room because I went to go and see them each. And they're both in the same changing rooms. And it just confused me for a minute. I thought, what? But they just, listen, they're both relaxed. They're both nice guys, and they know it's business, and they're quite comfortable in each other's presence. So we'll see what happens when they get up close and personal.
No, it's not going to go off in that dressing room, is it, Ant, between those two?
No, you think now, I wonder whether there was, watching each other warm up, thinking, I might meet you later in the night, and if they can try and remember things. But no, like Dave said, listen, it's strictly business.
Is that what you want, all that sort of psychological nonsense going on just before the final?
I think that sort of Stephen Donnelly and Fuller, really, they're both very, very confident within themselves. You can see by the way they've both spoken all night. I don't think it's going to come into play here.
Yeah. Who are you thinking here, Amir?
I think both guys are very respectful. That's one thing I see. They know their talents. They know how good they are. It's a hard fight to call because we know that Lenny is a fast starter and with a lot of power. Most of his knockdowns have been early in the fight, whereas Donnelly is more of a technical fighter with some power as well. So it's a hard fight to call, this one. Whoever starts off strong takes the fight.
Because Donnelly looks massive, and he looks very physically imposing and strong. And if he imposes that strength, then Lenny might be a little bit in trouble because he's naturally a smaller guy. And like he said, he's thinking about dropping down.
That's right.
But Lenny can pop.
Lenny can pop, but at the same time, I think I have to admit that Donnelly probably is the more technical fighter in this fight. So it's hard to say who's going to win this fight because, look, they made it to the final. So respect to him, and the best man will win.
I think what it's going to come down to now is pedigree.
Yeah.
And, Lenny, he's done brilliant tonight and on the unlicensed circuit. And, he didn't have this amateur experience. He's going in with an Olympian now. And I just believe that, although he's had the harder route to the final, I think the jab's going to be key. And Stephen Donnelly brings it home tonight.
Here we go then. Strap in, guys, and enjoy this because it should be brilliant. It's the final of Ultimate Boxer 5. It's Lenny Fuller against Stephen Donnelly, and it's live now.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the blue corner of the ring, Stephen Donnelly.
Well, here comes the pre-tournament favourite, Stephen Donnelly, from Ballymena in Northern Ireland. Came in here with a perfect ledger of 5 wins out of 5. He's added 2 victories to those numbers tonight. In the quarter-final, he stopped the late substitute Ish O'Connor in the first round and then prevailed with a unanimous points decision, 29-28 for all 3 judges, in what was a very competitive and particularly hard-fought third round in the win over the reigning Southern Area champion, Sean Robinson. That's how he booked his place here in the final of Ultimate Boxer 5.
And now making his way to the red corner of the ring, Lenny Fuller.
Well, all smiles for the main man, Lenny Fuller. And what a route he has had through to the final here at Ultimate Boxer 5. He scored a devastating first round knockout over the previously unbeaten Kingsley Egbenike in his quarter-final. 34 seconds for the quickest stoppage in the history of the editions of Ultimate Boxer so far. And then he outpointed the tall, athletic southpaw, Josh Ejakpovi. 30-26 for all 3 of the scoring judges, credited with a knockdown towards the end of the first round after he caught Ejakpovi, or appeared to catch him, with a forearm around the back of the head. And he practically boxed on his own terms and tempo in that semi-final. And he arrives at this final stage full of confidence as he looks to continue to upset the apple cart here at Ultimate Boxer 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. 3 rounds to see who will be crowned Ultimate Boxer 5. This contest is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, and our official ringside is steward in charge Mick Collier from London, your referee at the bell, Mr. Ian John Lewis from Donington, Kent, and your timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edward from London. Your 3 judges scoring the bout ringside are Mr. Bob Williams from Watford, Mr. Chaz Coakley from Southend-on-Sea, and Mr. Mark Bates from Horley. And now, to those in attendance and to those watching on BT Sports, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down! If you are ready to see some action, make some noise! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Ballymena, Northern Ireland. Make some noise for Stephen Donnelly. And introducing his opponent across the ring in the red corner, representing Maidstone, Kent. Please welcome Lenny the Main Man Fuller. Referee will now give his final instructions to the boxers.
Boxers, I'm the referee, and this is the final. Obey my command at all times. Definitely watch your heads and kick them punches up. When I shout break, you break clean. And remember, defend yourselves at all times. Shake hands.
Well, what a final we have in prospect here. Here is the pre-tournament favourite, Stephen Donnelly. And across the ring, the man who knows no fear, Lenny Fuller, looking to continue his phenomenal run through this tournament in pursuit of the Ultimate Boxer 5 title.
Check it out.
So we're underway then. 3 3-minute rounds. And the man wearing white, Lenny Fuller, with a quick start once again, scoring with a straight long left to the body. Looking for that same shot once more. Stephen Donnelly, the boxer wearing green, just using his feet effectively to negate that attempted overhand right that has been such an effective shot for Fuller, and you can see him bombing away with that right hand in the opening 20 seconds of this opening round.
Yeah, and he sets it up the same way. You know, he tries to touch downstairs, get your focus down to your body, and then try to surprise you with a quick shot to the head.
So Donnelly onto the front foot, backing up the more compact Fuller to establish those long straight shots. Good left hand to the body from Donnelly. May have strayed low, but Fuller didn't complain. Fuller tried with a corkscrew left hand but couldn't find the range. Lead right hand from Donnelly wasn't too far away.
The fight's around now, settling in here technically.
So Donnelly onto the front foot. Fuller with a forward foray, but again didn't find a range. Here's a nice spearing jab which penetrates the guard of Donnelly, but Donnelly countered with the same lead left hand.
You see both guys going to their bread and butter. It's Donnelly trying to look for that left hook to the body, and we've seen Fuller trying to go for that right hand over the top a few times as well.
Nice left jab to the body from Fuller, trying the same shot once more.
And that's what he does. He does that jab to the body, but really what he's trying to do is lull you to sleep so that you sleep on his right hand over the top. And he'll throw that jab to the body a few times, kind of get your focus down there, and then he'll surprise you with and follow it up with a right hand after he throws it. Oh, good short right hand inside by Donnelly.
So Donnelly looking to impose his physical strength, and on the resumption he lands a cracking left-right combination. You heard when he was talking backstage with Steve Bunce that Fuller, who's just been jolted backwards by a strong left hand from Donnelly, who's looking to impose himself as we approach the final minute of this first round. Oh, big right hand from Donnelly. Fuller trying to fight out of the corner, but he was stopped in his tracks, and then Donnelly dips down with a good shot to the torso. And Donnelly looking to dominate here in the final minute of this first round.
And Donnelly looking to use his physicality now as he gets closer. Good shots landed.
Cracking left hand once again. It was a screw shot that he turned upwards. The palms ended up facing the ring lights from Stephen Donnelly. Fuller falling short, and he has been slowed down by the heavy leather that he's absorbed in this opening round. He comes back with a jab of his own, but it was an exchange of jabs. And the work of Fuller has slowed noticeably. The snap on his punches was devoid on that previous attempted combination. Donnelly will probably make note of that. Looks as though Fuller's going to make it back to his corner. How quickly will his sharpness and energy levels be able to recuperate during the intermission.
And we'll see. It's more so, I think physically he's okay. I think psychologically now he's felt, you know, he's got to go back to the corner knowing he lost the first round and figure out how way to take some confidence into round 2, because Donnelly had a solid final minute of that round, and I think took it with that.
Fuller electing to stand in between rounds, as he's done all night. There's a terrific right hand.
And those are the right hands on the inside. And this was where Donnelly was starting to use his physical ability inside there, you know, trying to keep Fuller up against the ropes. There it is right there. You see how he shoved off Fuller and then used the right hand and actually landed 2 of them. And that was because, and that's mainly accessible to Donnelly. There you see it there again, because Fuller is not a natural light middleweight as is or super welterweight as is Donnelly. So on the inside, Donnelly is going to have the physical strength to be able to do things like that. And there he used it to actually set up some punches. He pushed off Fuller and then followed it with a quick right hand while Fuller was regaining his balance.
Round 2. Into the second round then. Stephen Donnelly enjoying a strong final minute. The first round, and he's looking to impose his physicality once again at the start of this second round, walking Fuller back towards the ropes. Fuller telling us during the intermission and told me during the week that he's looking to drop back down to welter or super lightweight at the conclusion of this tournament. And Donnelly really looking to impose his size and strength on the man now. Good 2-shot combination to the body. And this is beginning to take on a contest that looks a bigger brother fighting against a smaller brother, because Donnelly just bullying Fuller in there. But look at the fighting spirit being demonstrated by Fuller as he looks to battle his way out of the neutral corner.
Yeah, Fuller's a skilled guy, and he's an all-heart guy too. You know, Fuller has the character of a fighter. It's just here, you know, he's physically not of the same size as is Donnelly, and it can start to wear him down. But he's trying here. He's giving it a go in round 2.
Certainly is. Walked onto a couple of straight shots. He attempted to get back in punching range there.
And Donnelly has some sneaky shots he lands there, especially to the body, but also to the head. There it is right there.
Oh, the right hand is completely wiped out Fuller. He's on unsteady legs now, and he's there for the taking. Donnelly senses that, and he's pouring it on here in the second round. We're approaching the midpoint, and he's being clipped by hard shots on the chin. Fuller's got nothing left, and every shot is causing him to wilt. Ian John Lewis has intervened, having seen enough. And Stephen Donnelly climbs the turnbuckle, having prevailed here in Ultimate Boxer 5. This tournament following the form book, because the man who was the pre-tournament favorite has demonstrated his quality and his ability throughout the course of his quarter, semi, and here in the final, he scores his second stoppage of the night, outgunning the game Lenny Fuller to be crowned the champion of Ultimate Boxer 5 in the super welterweight division.
There's layers to Donnelly's skills, and he went through the layers each and every fight. He showed us a little more, and here in this fight, also, you know, showing us his finishing ability. Once he did get his man hurt him with a nice right hand here. Again, he set it up nicely, because Fuller's arms are starting to lower themselves. Also, his offense is getting a little bit sloppy, and that's why that right hand was able to land up top. You see the body shots there also were bending him over, so he was hurt to the body, to the head, and really Fuller should have been trying to hold on here, but he wasn't. Too much heart for his own good, and Donnelly was able to eventually get him out of there. There it is again. You see where his arms are all over the place here, and that's why he took that right hand. You know, he was already fatigued from the body shots he had taken in this fight thus far, and this is that right hand that hurt him landed mainly because of that. And then the follow-up here, look at his body shot that's going to come up soon. You're going to see a body shot that's going to wilt him down right there. You see right there, he hurts him to the body with that right there. So now he's hurt to the head and to the body. He's a smaller man. He's not going to do himself any favors if he doesn't hold. And of course, Donnelly is going to oblige him and keep fighting if Fuller's not going to hold and take advantage of it and get the stoppage. Statement win by Donnelly in the finals. That's the way you want to win an Ultimate Boxer, with a KO win in the finals. And he sure did it.
So there the the Warriors who contested the Ultimate Boxer 5 final, and what a spectacle they produced. But there is the victor, who will be presented with the Golden Robe and will take home the lion's share of the £50,000 prize fund. And what a turnaround. It's a well documented the fact that he was sent home from the Commonwealth Games and walked away from the sport for 2 years, but how this man has built himself back up, going to the 2 subsequent Commonwealth Games, making it through to the Olympic Games. He's gone undefeated in the professional ranks so far, and he was telling me in the week that this sport of boxing is so hard. As he gives his fiancée a hug, they were engaged last year on a gondola in Venice. She drives him to the gym. He said that he's been relying on her for support because the boxing is very hard indeed. But this victory and taking home this prize fund will make it all the more worthwhile, and has demonstrated his talent on a much bigger stage.
And that is terrific. And also, you know, he's also getting himself noticed by the bigger promoters, the bigger names as well. This is a very big stage for him to get a win over. He already has a great resume, but of course now a great time to win Ultimate Boxer. So give credit also to Fuller. Let's give credit to Fuller as well. He fought a great tournament, and you know, not to be undone in the finals, obviously, but you know, he fought a great tournament as well, and I think he opened some eyebrows as well.
He certainly did. As Sarah Louise, the fiancée of Stephen Donnelly, leaves the stage to allow him to bask in the glory of his victory. But Lenny Fuller, as you've said, with a terrific performance, the least experienced guy here other than the late substitute, and he played his part in what was a very entertaining final.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Ian John Lewis called a stop to the action at the official time of 1 minute and 33 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner. And now, the Ultimate Boxer 5 champion, Stephen Donnelly!
Stephen Donnelly acknowledging the applause that he's receiving after a sensational run through Ultimate Boxer 5 to be crowned as the Ultimate Boxer 5 champion in the super welterweight division. Absolutely magnificent.
Yep, what a night it was for Stephen Donnelly, the man with the Olympic and the Commonwealth Games experience. And we're going to hear from our new Ultimate Boxer 5 champion after this short break. Don't go away. It's the night of the Irish in London as Stephen Donnelly has just been crowned the champion of Ultimate Boxer 5, beating Lenny Fuller in the final. Didn't go the distance as Anthony Crolla predicted. We'll hear from him later. We'll get analysis from Paul Malimananaji and from Dave Caldwell as well. But let's get inside the ring and get Amir Khan to present our new champion with the Golden Robe. Over to our MC, Terry Kavanagh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to commence our ceremony presentation. In the ring, to the winner of Ultimate Boxer 5 Super Welterweight Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, our check and our robe will be presented to our winner by Amir Khan, former two-time world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, your new champion, Stephen Donnelly.
It's falling. If I can catch you whilst all the glitter is falling, and tell me what's going through your mind right now.
It's just unbelievable. All the hard training has paid off. You know, it's been hard. This past 6-7 weeks, I've caught myself in the gym. I've done everything right. With Shane Glennon, new conditioning coach, and nutritionist Yannick McGee and Emma Brennan, and everyone, we've all tagged in together. Jared McManus, we have a great stable. The sparring went great. I just trained very hard, and it's all paid off, and it's all worth it now.
Now, this obviously being a tournament format was quite different for you. Training-wise, what did you change?
We just done the same format in sparring. We sparred maybe 3-4 rounds fast, 10-minute break at the side of the ring, and we're back in again. All speed, all fast, but I always train hard anyway, and we were prepared for anything that came our way, and I proved that tonight.
I know hindsight is a great thing. You haven't had long to look back, but looking back at your 3 fights tonight, what would you say you did right?
What did I do right? Just use my jab. My boxing ability shone through in the end. My amateur experience, as I said before this tournament, it would shine through, and it did. It paid off. I kept it long, used my big jab, 1-2s, and I'm seen to be punching harder now as well, so which is a great thing. You need that in the pros, because it's hard to switch from the amateurs to the pros. It's a different game. But I'm learning, I'm getting there, and I'm still only a novice pro, to be honest. So, but I want to be up there, so I'm up there at British level. So
you're still not out of breath. You're wearing the Golden Globe, and tell me about these 2 men behind you.
Yeah, 2 legends. Andy, he's always here. He's always in my corner. I'm undefeated with Andy in the corner. Paddy Gall, we were actually amateur. We used to fight each other in the amateurs 3 times, so we're old rivals now. We're teammates. And Jared, he's the main man. Doesn't get the credit he deserves, you know. He works hard every day in the gym. So we're going to have a proper celebration tonight.
And finally, if you tell me about your opponent, he was the underdog for the whole tournament. He showed an incredible first fight, went through to the final with you, Lenny Fuller. A few words on him.
Yeah, Lenny Fuller. Big respect to him. He's great. I'm not even sure if this is his full weight class. I think he can maybe go down a division. So fair play to him. I honestly didn't expect him. I expected to meet the first guy in the final, Ejakpovi or whoever, or else the semi-finalist guy as well. But fair play to Lenny. He dug in, he got the final, and deservedly so.
Well, congratulations to you. A massive win, and deserved for you. Ladies and gentlemen, your Ultimate Boxer 5 champion, Stephen Donnelly!
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that there's going to be a few whiskies going down in London tonight. They are going to party the night away. Paulie Malimananaji, Anthony Crolla and Dave Caldwell with me ringside here still to talk out the rest of the show. Paulie, what kind of opportunity does this give to Stephen Donnelly? 31 years old. I mean, he's been there and done it with all the experience that he's got. But this extra profile and the cash, does it give him a chance now to kick on?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think anybody that wins Ultimate Boxer betters their chances of being noticed in their career. But especially somebody like Donnelly, who already had the Olympic pedigree, who had the top amateur pedigree. You know, people may have wondered about him because he's a little bit older. But watching him tonight, watching him win this tournament, and watching him look so fresh doing it. You know, he didn't have the easiest route to the finals. And then, you know, he took on, especially the last 2 opponents, are very, very difficult. Was able to take them both on, get the stoppage in the finals. I think he impressed a lot of people and probably opened a few eyeballs to notice him, that he's not quite done. He's 30, 31 years old. His pedigree still stands for something, and maybe he'll get himself an opportunity now.
Anthony Crolla, Mystic Meg, he called it, didn't he? Inside the distance, he said that he beat Fuller in that final.
Yeah.
And the experience showed.
And I felt that was a big part of it, and size. And when you see the size of them in the ring, they look a good few weight divisions apart. And it also comes down, I think, to pedigree, where Fuller has been amazing tonight. He really has. he's come out of here covered in glory. But then when you break it down, you know, with pedigree, you know, Fuller done a lot on the unlicensed circuit, and you could see he fears no man. But someone with that amateur experience, on little amateur experience, compared to an Olympian, I felt as soon as he established his jab, Donnelly, then the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, Dave, talk us through the winning moment then.
Yeah, it's just touching on what Anthony said. It's not just the fact that he's Olympian. In order to get to that level, it's the quality of fighters he's fighting. And I think here, when you see Donnelly, he gets him going, but it's how he switches in mid-combination to the body, to the head, to the body, to the head. Those body shots that he was digging in underneath were crippling him. They just absolutely finish you, and then he just goes back up to the head. You know, he took a lot of shots there. He took a lot of, I thought, just towards the end, maybe 10 seconds, a little bit too much. But it was the body shots that were crippling, because it was just pulling him off balance, leaving him wide open, his arms swinging away everywhere, and he's a sitting target. That was the quality that you're talking about, and the difference with the experience that Donnelly's got. Switching mid-combination, not just swinging to the head, not just going to the head, not just going to the body, mid-flow, and the quality and the pedigree was the difference for me.
Yeah, let's check in with Bunsey, shall we, backstage. Bunsey, another great night at Ultimate Boxer.
They just keep coming and coming, don't they? We get knockouts, we get underdogs, we get favourites coming through by the skin of their teeth. That noise you can hear in the background, that's Lenny Fuller walking back to the dressing room. And I tell you what, he'll be a real force when he loses about 7 or 8 pounds, gets himself down to light welter. That's where he should be. And as for the Don, Stephen Donnelly, sure, he was the favourite. He was the big favourite. But he admitted to me here, off camera, said all bets are off once this tournament starts. Once people start launching enormous punches, once that crowd, and it's a special crowd, the Ultimate Boxer crowd, once they start standing and screaming and decide they want to back you or not back you, all bets are off. He didn't have a massive contingent of fans here. He used his brain, Stephen Donnelly, and Dave Cold was absolutely right. We saw some stuff in that little montage there, that little slow-motion montage. Stephen Donnelly stays on track, forget his age, 5 or 6 more fights. He's a heck of a fighter to have on the scene. Ultimate Boxer. It's 4 hours, 8 boxers, 7 fights, 7 losers, and 1 Golden Robe winner. What more do you want? That's why you stay up till nearly midnight.
Love you, Bunsey. And Bunsey thinks he's going to be here until UB40. He's got 35 shows to go, hasn't he? We've got Ultimate Boxer 6 coming for you next. And this time, it's time for the heavyweights in Manchester. I've been looking forward to the heavyweights. Was waiting to see when it would come up, Dave. What are we in store for here?
Everybody loves a heavyweight scrap. And can you imagine Ultimate Boxer heavyweights? It's just going to be swinging bombs from the ceiling. I'm telling you, that's going to be exciting, that is.
Brutal, isn't it? But it fits so well with this format, doesn't it, Paulie?
Well, a lot of times, you know what it is, heavyweight fights a lot of times can either be really good or they can kind of be dull in pace. Because of a 3-round format and because you don't advance unless you do something, 3 rounds is going to force these heavyweights to get moving fast. So when the big boys get moving fast, you get a lot of knockouts.
Now, look, I've got to talk about you two before we go off air. Mr. Anthony Crawler, I am looking forward to November. One last dance in Manchester for you.
One last dance, November the 2nd at the Manchester Arena. And, yeah, that's it. So,
mate, emotional times.
It will be. But I've said all week, you know, I can't let those emotions come into the ring with me that night. I've got to, it's strictly business. And if I want to get emotional, I can do after it. But I'm looking forward to it.
And you're still waiting for the phone call from Eddie Hearn, aren't
yes,
you, to find out who you fight?
To see who the opponent is. And hopefully I will know in the next few days. And we can start adjusting sparring and stuff like that. But, yeah. November the 2nd, the last time I'm in the professional ring as a boxer.
Really looking forward to that. Headlining the bill up in Manchester as well, just as you deserve to go out with a bang. And I've got to talk about you, sir. Last time I saw you, Paul, you had a cast on your hand. But this week, you've called out Conor McGregor again. Can we call him out again on BT Sport before we go?
I don't know if I called him out. It's more people ask me. You know, I was on TalkSport earlier this week, and we came in the conversation. You know, they asked me about him hitting the old man, and they asked me about all this other stuff. And they asked me if you're going to fight him. What am I going to say? No, of course I'm going to fight the guy. I don't like you, dude. I don't like you. If I see you, I'm going to smack you. So, of course, I'm going to say I'm going to fight him. But, of course, you know, it's not really like it's going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. He'd rather fight 60-year-old men. Remember one thing. I was in his face 2 years ago. In his face. And you know what I told him? In his face. And he did nothing. The 60-year-old man doesn't want a shot. He gets hit. Remember, it shows you the character of the man, the punk that he is. Am I not speaking character? Does that not tell you character? Forget about the trash talk I talk. Does that not tell you character? Do I not expose character? I've been exposing this guy's character. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I mean, I'd watch it, wouldn't you? McGregor against...
It's just a shame that we're running out of time, because I can listen to Paulie going on about Conor McGregor all night. I'm sure we can.
I've got a flight to catch.
Look, great to have you all with us tonight. Paulie, Ant, Dave as well, and Amir Khan. We're going to see you next time in Manchester for the heavyweights. Great to have you with us tonight. See you next time. Bye.